to I Did This Instead of Killing Myself, a stand-up comedy podcast based in Greenville, South Carolina. It's the week of December 26th, 2022, day after Christmas. So I wasn't going to put an episode out this week. We were going to take a break, but I'm recording this on Christmas Eve because my plane got delayed. I was supposed to go to Michigan. So it's 1:01 a.m. on Christmas Eve. Haven't seen Santa. You know, it's kind of sad being by yourself on Christmas Eve because of a snowstorm, but it might be more sad that I don't care. I was just like, yeah, whatever. There was a comedy show tonight I went to. Cody Hughes, he's good. So I just watched that, and it was fun. And hopefully the flight gets in tomorrow. But you know, good, whatever. Christmas Eve, it's still fun. Making this is fun. I like this. It's not even that sad because I legitimately enjoy this. Okay, whatever. And also, we did Access Carolina last Friday. They let me talk and talk about the comedy scene, and thought we'd show off the podcast. So shout out whoever has ever been on this show, because we got to do a little shout out. And I don't know I think it went okay. But you know, if anybody clicked on it who saw on Friday, thank you for clicking on it. If you didn't know about this show before, this is it. This is this. I hope you like it. Hope you're not like, well, what is this? Huh? Well, this is it. It's not much. I'm in my living room right now. But yeah, thanks for listening. I think we have a good guest for any new listeners too. Our guest today, and it's also fitting, like day after Christmas. What better way to start your day after Christmas by getting a rant from our resident Jew, Adam Schulte. Adam's cool. He lets me call him a Jew to his face. He's awesome. He's great. So Adam's been in the comedy scene 10 years. He's one of our old guys. West Virginia. Founding member of Stone Grown Comedy. He does Muay Thai. Muay Thai. I'm so tired right now. Muay Thai, not jiu-jitsu. Yeah, Muay Thai. Yeah, we catch up with Adam, what he's been up to, what new medications he's on. Adam book shows all around the area, and he where's my notes? He helped a lot of us new comics who started during COVID get up on stage the first time. So for anybody who doesn't know that, like, that was really important to me, and good stuff there. Unfortunately, we started this interview talking about crypto because that's what we talked about last time he was on. But we move on from that quick because crypto is a scam, and I was wrong. Crypto. What else did we talk about? We talked about some throwback stuff. Talked about some of what he's been up to in Muay Thai. We got a bunch of rants in there, stories. I can always talk to Adam for a long time, a couple hours. So, yeah, check him out, man. Adam's great. Click on the links below. Get to know Adam. And hope you enjoy the interview. Before we get to the interview, though, here's what's going on this week in local comedy, the week of December 26, 2022. Tonight, Monday, Coffee Underground, 7 o'clock. 6:30 sign up for comics. That's hosted by No Expectations Comedy, Travis Thubb and Craig Holcomb. Tuesdays, we have a new mic, Sharky's Pub. This is a brand new mic at 8 o'clock. Comics sign up at 7. Since this is a brand new mic, comics come out. We got to make sure this mic goes well. It's Sharky's is a cool spot because a lot of us do karaoke right after, and we hang out there a lot, but we've never done comedy there. So it'll be fun. There's it'll be a fun setup because it's all girl hosts. We have like dudes hosting all the other mics. So this one will probably be more organized. The rotating hosts are going to be Cassandra Jane, Callie Passafume, and Amelia Nelson. Message them if you have questions. All right. Art Bar, also on Tuesday. This is in Columbia, South Carolina, hosted by Patrick Fowler. It's an 8:30 show. Wednesday, Tom Emmons, Swamp Rabbit Comedy. Open mic at the VFW Post 9273 in Piedmont. 7 o'clock show, 6:30 comic sign up. Also on Wednesday, we have the Disclaimer open mic in Asheville, 8 p.m. show. Carrie Goff, point of contact. Thursday, Jokes Out Loud is happening. That is an 8 o'clock show. Brandon Rainwater. Sign up for that is every Sunday at 5 o'clock on the Jokes Out Loud Facebook page. Friday, All Jokes Aside at Habiba's Mediterranean Restaurant, hosted by Dante Anderson. That's a 9 o'clock show. And this weekend at the Comedy Zone, New Year's weekend, we have Monty Allen. He has one show on Friday, December 30th at 8 o'clock, and one show on Saturday, December 31st at 8 o'clock. Tickets available at greenvillecomedyzone.com. All right. That's it for local comedy. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Happy New Year, and hope you enjoy the interview. Here it is.
New meds.
You're on new meds?
Yeah, I'm several meds. I've changed it up.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
The irony of it being Christmas. The irony of it. This
in honor of a
Hanukkah
Christmas episode.
Where my Jews at?
We have our favorite Jew.
I don't know about favorite. Like
I don't
semi-tolerable. I think.
Yeah.
Above average tolerable? I think that's fair.
I think you're very tolerable.
Not by some people. Motherfuckers. A lot of motherfuckers don't like me.
I feel comfortable saying Jew is because Ari's special just came out.
Yeah.
Called Jew.
Yeah, you can say Jew. I don't care.
Yeah?
Yeah, even if you put a little like, Jews, I'm still not going to get mad.
Okay. Let me just double check to make sure. We just started recording without.
Yeah, we'll see
I don't think that's distorted.
We're going to find out. If not, we just say I use my magic and space lasers to fuck up the audio.
Yeah, Adam's Jewish powers made the audio levels good. Oh, mine's a little too loud, I think.
That's okay.
Welcome back, Adam.
Hi. Has everybody
thanks
everybody missed me or nobody? This is gonna get tens of views in like 3 years. Just
no,
so you know.
No. This is I'm happy that it's still going. And
this is third visit.
This is your third.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the first time we talked just general background on stuff. The second time we argued about politics.
Yeah, that was
too much.
That was not fun for me.
Way too much.
It was, but it wasn't.
What's that?
It wasn't. And we talked about crypto. Like you were really into talking about crypto.
Well, actually, yeah. And I thought about revisiting that because boy, was I wrong.
Well, we might talk about crypto.
As of recording this, it's December 2022.
It's the 10th.
It's the 10th?
Yep.
So
I had to look at my watch / phone because I don't know days anymore.
Did you follow what happened with crypto? How it all crashed?
I've been following the FTX thing a little bit, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know I don't have a lot of details, but basically, a lot of people's money is like inaccessible now.
Yeah, it's a scam as old as time.
Yeah.
But here's what I'll say about crypto. I think long term it is going to be a viable source of building wealth. I think right now, the same way the stock market it's buying an intangible for the most part. When you're buying intangibles, man, it's harder to gauge long-term value. Just bottom line, because it can change on a dime. And this crypto is the same thing. And there's even when you're buying an intangible, there's either a finite source or a made-up infinite source. So when you have those two options, if it's a finite source, like Bitcoin is kind of a special one.
It's supposed to be finite, or
it's finite. Yeah. It's finite to a point because you have to mine it, and it takes forever to get just a fraction. So there is X amount,
and there's a limit, right? Because once they make a little bit more that you can mine, but at the end, there's a point where they don't make any more.
Yeah,
there's like a rule written in.
Yeah, so there's like after so many teraflops and so many mathematical computations, it's done. It just can't go any further. Kind of like there is an end to pi, but we don't know where it is, but there is an end.
Yeah. Did you ever do that in school? Pi day?
Dude, they tried. And I got to like 17 or 18. I said, this is fucking stupid.
We did that as like a class project, and you did all the decimals to pi around the room, like on paper, and they like does this sound like a fun project to you?
No.
This math teacher was so fun. He wrote pi and all the decimals out, and then it was like about the size of like wallpaper, like old school wallpaper, and it wrapped all the way. And I don't think we got all the digits, but
but then like you have like the inflated source and the made up infinite, which is a lot more akin to the stock market.
yeah.
You can always there's new shares and we can short the stock and and GameStop and all that bullshit. So
that to me gets it with stock market stuff, like the short selling, the short squeezing, all that stuff. That's sketch. But dude, when crypto crashed recently, I had like this horrible thought that the whole thing was
most
a scam
thoughts are horrible
from the beginning. What?
Most thoughts are horrible according to the internet.
Yeah. Well, what I thought was like, what if it was, I think it's such a brilliant scam because they made this really sophisticated argument to support it that kind of made sense. So like because you want the conspiracy theorists who believe it to think they're smarter than everyone else.
Libertarians.
Yes, exactly. So you watch.
I'm just being an asshole.
No, for sure though. That's what I mean. Like because libertarians would be sympathetic to like they want to go back to gold or something.
The free market decides.
Right. So you make an argument that's libertarian based so that people believe in it, and then you promote it, and then you get people to put a bunch of money in it. And then it goes into these exchanges, which aren't really protected or backed by anything.
It's okay.
They take the money, and then
it's the idea of belief. That's really the driving force behind stock markets, money.
At least with the stock market, it's real money, though.
Bitcoin. No, it's the idea of belief, that you believe that this has a backing and that this has value.
Yeah.
And again, it's an intangible. Money technically is like the paper money is technically. But done on a belief system because it's just printed on paper
for sure.
But if you
the fact that a lot of people believe in U.S. dollars is why it works.
Yeah, but if you have like, I don't know, 800 pounds of gold, you clearly have true, tangible value and stuff. Same with like art.
Yeah.
There's only one Mona Lisa.
Yep.
Even as far as like. Records and comic books and other dumb shit that I personally collect because there's only so many of one thing made.
Yeah, you see, and they incorporated these ideas into the scam. Art, NFTs,
dude. Fuck
like
NFTs.
let's make this very elegant. This scam. We'll do NFTs. We'll do fixed supply, digital gold.
Dude,
it was
NFTs
all
suck
fake
me from the back. I fucking hate NFTs.
It was all fake.
I think NFTs are probably going to be the downfall of any sort of digital-based currency. In all seriousness, I think it's like the hotel art of digital currency. NFTs are fucking stupid. Stop buying them.
Oh, I think that everybody did stop.
Good.
I have on my Twitter, when I started to get into NFTs, like a bunch of these accounts followed me and started to spam me with NFT projects. And then all the crypto YouTube videos, so they're all attention grabbing, like, watch this, it's Bitcoin to the moon. Or like, they all have like these really cheesy, like spammy type
NFT
things.
Means to me not fucking today.
I was wrong.
I'm just not.
Crypto's fake.
I'm not into them. I just think I think they're dumb. You can just right click and save. It's real. It's. No, I have the value of this thing. Who gives a shit? All right, let's get out.
I think the fact that since we've talked, like there's been change. Like
it's
the past 2 years have been bananas, man.
I mean,
there's been
BANANAS.
So much crap.
Is that how it goes? Did I spell it right?
Yes, you. Yes.
Okay.
My
English degree is failing me.
I didn't know. Well, yeah. Since like I'm supposed to interview you, so a lot's changed with you the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So first of all, like you were one of the first people I met in comedy. For anybody who hasn't listened before or heard you before, you were one of the first people to encourage me and a lot of young comics.
Yes.
Have been starting.
And I still do.
The second mic I ever did was Radio Room with like a handful of us.
It was
like Matt,
you,
Addy,
Kelby, Amelia. I know I'm missing somebody. Jeff Thompson was there, I think, early on.
Early on, but not right away. Because Jeff, I remember I met Jeff
because he was in DC and he moved back. I know I'm forgetting somebody.
I want to try and remember because
a
lot of people have dropped off. But
I still have the paper lists in my comedy bag. I have every single one.
Oh, you saved them?
Yep.
You saved the original list?
Yeah, I still have them.
Dude, that's so sweet.
Yeah, I keep in one for like. So I'll let you in on some inside baseball when it comes to booking.
Tell me inside baseball.
What?
Go ahead.
All right.
Sorry.
So when I was doing, I still do this for booking. I will pick names and I will write on stuff at the end of the night. for me to say, keep watching them, or hey, out of town comic, they live in Seattle, Washington, they're probably not going to be back anytime soon, or it's like they're
so you write a note if you like somebody,
or if like hey, or keep watching
town.
them, or nope. Like there's a lot of nopes, or like
what notes did you have for the early comics?
It was a lot of them just said keep watch, keep watch,
watching.
because I didn't know if they were going to last the pandemic, and I knew that even when I started, people are trying to figure out who they are and what they're going to do long term, because I know I have changed a lot from when I first started to where I am now. Mm-hmm. And instead of just trying to be like me personally, just trying to be like shocking, I've gone from just being shocking and dark to being personal, personable, vulnerable, and still dark, but like it just being more of myself. And instead of like writing down thoughts that I think, I think this is funny.
Yeah.
I'm pulling more from like real things that have happened to me. Like the last 2 hours that I've written, which I still have yet to record, which is my bad. The fourth hour was really about my relationship with my father near the end, and COVID, and
when did your dad, remind me the date on that? Cause he passed
July 20th, 2020.
Okay. So right around the time that I met you, that was very early. Yep. Okay.
And because I buried him the next week, and then we had the memorial in August. We had the memorial, then I buried him in August. That's where the whole car gun bit started.
Yeah.
Driving gun. That's where that bit started.
Yeah, relatable thing tied to tragedy. A lot of people have road rage, and then you
like blowing my brains out in the Target parking lot, which I still think about just for funsies.
It's a classic Schulte bit.
It is. And then the last hour that I've really taken my time on has been more about me coming to grips with who I am as a person, and like trying to figure out my actual cultural identity, because that's really big right now.
Jewish in the South.
Jewish in the South. I've talked a lot about that, and kind of going back to my pro-union roots, my pro-workers' rights.
It's cool that comics do that. I mean, in a way, it's similar to what Ari just did.
Yep.
Because he told, I listened to him on Steve-O's podcast recently, which is a great podcast, by the way. I keep
forgetting that Steve-O has a podcast.
Steve-O's podcast is great. If you can get past his voice is a little bit, because of, his voice is just, I don't know why.
He huffed lighter fluid. I'm sure that's great for your vocal cords.
So his voice is a little bit, but he is a really good interviewer, and he like really cares about, getting into the personal aspects of the guest. But he was with Ari, and he said Ari had never done of any of his specials, never done like a theme special, because this was all about his heritage. So it sounds like similar to what you're talking about with like, your last couple of hours of material were like personal.
Yeah, and I'm like not even a good. I don't even believe in God. I think it's stupid, but I still won't. But I still won't write out the whole thing. I'll still put G, then a dash, then D. That's still the reverence that like in a lot of sects of Judaism, where like they won't spell it out.
They won't spell out God?
They won't. It's not even, it's just like a reverence thing.
Yeah.
I still won't.
Even if you don't personally believe, you're not going to like shit on it. Or
and the only parts of Judaism I even remotely give a shit about are like doing my mitzvahs, which are the good deeds, and like using
mitzvahs are good deeds.
Yeah, and like summoning my mud golems to smite my enemies. Like other than those two things,
mud golems.
Yeah, read the Kabbalah, the book of Jewish mysticism. Other than that, like I don't relate to a lot of it. Like was it? Like Jewish atheism is like the better way of putting. Like I'm culturally, but I'm not tied to. I'm unorthodox, if nothing else. But like I don't.
Do you say your brand of Judaism is similar to like Zaslav?
No, I think between the two of us, and I'll even throw Melly in there too. I think they're far more devout. Than I am.
So real quick, we're talking about David Zaslav, who's another gentleman in the comedy scene,
also Jewish,
and Melly Kazel.
Yep. Newest comic.
Yeah, and she's like in age, she's the youngest.
Yep.
You're between.
Yep.
And Zaslav he's almost 80.
Yeah,
but in fantastic shape.
And I'll say this, not to gas him up, but he's probably the most talented person in entertainment in Greenville currently.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Between like music
and also in terms of credits.
Yeah.
He's got credits on a Linkin Park album.
Yep.
He's a musician.
He's done some documentaries. Like he's had such an amazing life. Like that's what I would aspire to be in my creative life.
Sure.
Not necessarily the same things, but to have those kind of experiences through my own means. That to me would be, and I think I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting there just through like the things that I enjoy. I think I'm getting there, which is pretty cool. I like that because my journey in life has changed so much.
Well, the other thing that's happened in the last 2 years is you've gotten married.
Yep. I actually, for the first time in like the better part of a year, put my wedding ring on, so it is real.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's tight.
Thank you.
What metal is that?
Adamantium. I don't know. It's we'll say titanium and platinum.
Okay. Yeah, that's slick.
I let her pick it out. I said I don't want silver. I don't want gold. I want something a little less typical, but I don't want wood. So I said I want dark and light in it, and she was
Dark
like,
and light. That
Yep.
sums up your personality.
It's true. And see, it's dark, but there's a silver lining. So
Oh, look at that.
she's fucking smart. So and she's real. It's not
She's
not a
real.
waifu pillow or like a real doll. So
Or a mail order bride or anything.
no, mail order brides are still
person.
real.
Yeah.
But yeah, my life journey is changing. It's about to change again in the new year. I'm very excited.
Hit us with some news. You gonna break some news?
Yeah. I'm starting a nonprofit with a couple of my friends, and it is, I can't give the real name out, but until I get everything trademarked and registered, which, by the way, kids, I'm saying kids because I'm assuming most people that listen to this are going to be younger than soon to be 43, which I turned 43 in fucking 16 days. I'm a prime number. Yay. Starting a nonprofit, extremely expensive. Don't know why. It's kind of bullshit. But I'm starting a nonprofit.
Because the government doesn't want people helping people, so they're gonna make it really expensive
and time consuming and maddening. Thank God I passed the fucking bar.
Yay, libertarianism. The government shouldn't be.
But it's a nonprofit. It's gonna be a nonprofit company where the goods that we sell are going to benefit a black cat sanctuary specifically for one, and then a local no-kill shelter. So
Nice.
Right now we're calling it the Silas Project because it's based off of our black cat Silas, because we didn't know if he was going to live or die, because he just became this outdoor cat we started taking care of, and he had this really gnarly head wound. And we, my wife and I, it's one of the few times we've like argued. We've been together almost 10 years, and she was like, well, I want to get him healed up. And I was like, if we're going to spend this money, he's coming in. She's like, I don't know if we can afford 6 cats. I'm like, you're talking about spending hundreds of dollars on a cat that's going to stay outside that might get run over.
Yeah.
No, it's cats coming in.
Yeah. So you made Silas a house cat?
Yep.
Okay.
I sold off like, this sounds bad. It sounds like I'm patting myself on the back, but I sold off like $3,000 worth of records to make sure that he would have his medical treatment.
Nice.
And a bunch of other. Then I had and it ended up being way cheaper than we thought it was going to be. So I went to Furnace Fest.
So y'all have a heart for cats.
Yeah, she and I have homed. We joke about what the number is, but we have homed. I say it's 30 plus. She says it's exactly 30, but 30 plus cats in the Gower area. And for up until like the last couple weeks, there have been no ferals or strays. We've just seen 3. We don't know where they're from, but we're now taking care of them, giving them food, water, and we built them a
Dude,
shelter.
this is cool.
So
this is cool.
Like,
where did your well, sorry to cut you
no,
off.
and like we're going to continue to do that, and that's one of the reasons why I want to start the nonprofit. Is I want to make sure these little creatures, these adorable little critters, have a safe place to go. And like we've paid for all this stuff out of pocket.
Yeah.
And I can say now, at being together almost a decade, I would probably say about $18,000.
Wow.
And I would like to actually get money coming in and be able to sell something cool, and use that money to keep generating interest and keep having money to donate to get these animals
Off the street
into good homes, and to get them medical attention, to get them, make sure they're fed, get them socialized. By the way, socializing feral cats, not easy.
Yeah.
But we've done it. And like all 6 of ours.
Where did your passion for like helping cats start? Because you're clearly passionate about it. Like, I didn't know you were going to do this, but like, and there's a lot of people like Bill Reiner.
Yep.
Loves them. There's a lot of cat people out there. I've never been a cat person per se. I'm kind of like new to it, but I do love like interactions when I go over to somebody's house with the cat.
Well, I think
Where'd that start?
so I'm deathly allergic to dogs. So I love the fuck out of dogs. But when I'm around them, I break out, I sneeze. It's hard for me to breathe. Eyes water, snotty. It's gross.
Yeah.
But I grew out of my allergies of cats. I was allergic to both for years.
Okay.
So when we started taking the cats in, like all 6 of ours were either neglected, feral, or abused. So all 6 of ours come from really rough situations. And my wife, her family used to run a pet store in Simpsonville years ago.
Okay.
And they would take some of the strays, take care of them, feed them, get them.
So the pet store her family ran, was it like just a local, wasn't like Petco? It was like
Petco, but mom and pop stuff.
Mom and pop pet store. That's cool. I haven't seen a lot of mom and pop pet stores. When I think of them, I think of like a corporate chain.
That's because that's they've all become.
They've all become
capitalism. You might just get a mom and pop like pet food and medicine store. But
the one her family ran was like actually like they sold pets.
Yeah, and it wasn't like there weren't dog breeders selling like $1,000 dogs. It was just like, hey, here's this dog's been wandering the streets that has the mange, just now been healed. It's a loving dog. We just want to get into a nice home. So that was, but like the other thing is like, I think the other answer that I'm going to use, which I think is a good one. I used to work for a company when I lived in Rutherford County where my job was killing pigs.
What? You had to slaughter the pigs yourself? Yep. Okay, what was this company?
I'm not going to give the name out.
But not the name, but like, what do they do? Like, it was just a slaughterhouse?
A slaughterhouse, and that's where like a lot of fast food companies would get their meat.
Wait, okay. So can you walk me through what your
there were different sections. It wasn't all in the same building. But you would have the slaughtering part where they would, obviously kill the animals. And then they would move the animals to the next, like the separating section.
How did you slaughter them? I don't even know how. Like,
this is getting me PTSD coming back to this.
I want to know the details.
But we were given an air gun. We put it in the ear and pulled the trigger. And
like No Country for Old Men?
Yeah.
Like
there's a long tube with like a bulb on the end of it, and it pops their brain. It's supposed to be harmless and like.
So you go up to their like temple.
You put it in the ear.
In the ear.
And you pull the trigger.
And it's instant.
And it pops it. And sometimes there wasn't enough power behind it, and so they freak out because they're it's almost like they have a stroke.
Oh my God.
And when I worked that job for like 3 weeks and I quit because I was having nightmares.
Holy shit.
So I went vegan after that.
Are you still vegan?
I'm 70% plant based because I still have some meat and some cheese here and there, but like that was
that would traumatize me.
Yeah, and I went from the change was so from being like a meat eater and eating garbage all the time to being vegan. It was so like rough on my body. I was like getting jaundice. Like I dropped weight unnaturally, and I was getting sick all the time.
That happened when you first switched from.
Yeah, because it wasn't like I didn't like go into like vegetarianism, then slowly transition. It was like night and day.
Yeah. So it was a shock to your body. It was really bad.
And this is back when like vegan food. What did I do? That was 2002, 2001, 2002. It was before one of the Hellfests in Syracuse, and. When we got back from Hellfest is when like my body starting to shut down. I was sick all the time. So I went back to being vegetarian and then slowly started eating meat again, but I changed what I was eating. And then I started eating garbage again because I stopped giving a shit. And then when I moved down here is when I started going back to being vegetarian.
Okay. And where are you at right now?
I'm 70% plant-based. So
okay.
I don't really have a lot of dairy. I'll have some occasional cheese.
How do you feel with that?
I feel good.
That mix of
I will have some occasional meat. It's supposed to like chicken. I have a lot of Impossible burgers.
Okay.
I don't have a ton of soy. My morning lattes are oat milk. So I have a lot. We cook a lot of oat milk and coconut milk. Yep. So I'm fucking fancy.
Yeah, very trendy. Yeah.
I was doing it before it was cool. Believe it.
I would think Adam Schulte drank lattes, morning
morning
oat milk lattes.
We bought a Breville as like a.
Sounds like
we spent a lot of money on this Breville for like an anniversary gift that we would both use.
Breville? I don't even know what that is.
It's a very expensive espresso machine.
Baller.
We spent like $18.50 on it.
Nice.
So. But I just and vegan food, vegetarian food, plant-based substitutes are so much different than they were in the early aughts, late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of tasting like cardboard with some flavoring, they're kind of dead on. A lot of things you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But I've also expanded like what I eat. Like I eat hummus now. I like falafel.
Hummus, dude. I hate hummus.
That's cool.
I hate it.
I like more vegetables in general now. Like I've just changed like what my palate is. I changed. Really a lot of different things about what I would eat. Like I don't really like peanut butter as much anymore. I like cashew butter because it's cashews, oil, and some salt. Whereas a lot of peanut butter has a lot of like hydrogenated oils and a bunch of other stuff. So now, unless it's the natural stuff, obviously, but like I cashew butter, almond butter, and like 3 ingredients. Like I can work with them. My protein bars have less stuff in them than before.
Yeah, I've had nightmares with peanut butter and protein bars.
What?
Well, I tried to do keto one time.
Keto is like
I don't like keto at all, but I know
you
this.
also physically don't need it. Like I would need it more than you.
Keto?
Yeah.
No, I know. I got I think I may have mentioned this before, but a few years ago when I got paranoid about turning 30 and stuff, I was like doing every diet on the that you could find on podcasts.
No.
And I know. So I did keto, and I was so What?
Do coke.
I was doing that too at the same time.
Good. Were you losing weight from it?
Yeah.
Good.
Too much.
So that
we're worried. I was Skeletor at family reunions. No. My mom listens to this.
I can't do coke because I'm afraid my heart will die.
No, it's not good. But
No, it's not.
But the peanut butter thing, I was so like committed to keto that I was gonna follow the rules. But the one thing that they allowed was peanut butter. So I remember I'd go to Walmart and I'd get like the cheap biggest thing of peanut butter, and like I would work out, and then I'd be hungry because I wasn't eating enough sugar to support my workouts, and I'd go. I remember one day I ate like half of this thing of peanut butter in one sitting, and then I started to break out in like a rash, and I've never had an allergy to peanut butter, but I had so much of it that.
You must have hated your heart eating that much peanut butter too.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. Lesson learned. The rash went away after a few days, but it was it felt like an allergic reaction.
Like in all honesty, a lot of stuff like simple replacements. And I did a lot of trial and error. Like if you look at me now, you're like, there's no way that he's like 220. Like I'm trying to get down to like 200, maybe 190. I'm 220-ish right now.
You ever tried to do an aggressive fasting routine to get you down there?
I've thought about it, but like. I go so hard every day. That, like I don't.
Really, you got your Muay Thai.
So if I'm not doing comedy, I got Muay Thai. If I'm not doing that, I'm doing Stab Lab. If I'm not doing that, I'm doing some other project to make money, or I'm cleaning up in the house. I'm doing laundry.
So you need your fuel.
So like I don't eat constantly, but like I've checked what I eat.
Yeah.
And with the Muay Thai side, the really physical side, I go a lot harder than I used to. One, I'm getting older, so my metabolism is like slowing down in general, but I like going harder than I used to. Like it's more of a pressure test for myself.
But how do you feel though? Because like since I can't remember how long ago it was, but you stopped hosting Radio Room. You like delegated that off to Jeff and us idiots. Which I think you're taking back Radio Room soon. We'll talk about that in a second. All right. But like since you've had more time to dedicate to Muay Thai, do you feel better? Like you're a year older, but you're able to do more Muay Thai and like you're less spread thin. So do you actually feel better, even though your body's getting older? But
yes and no. Like my skill level has definitely improved. Different aspects of that side of my life. Like that game, my Muay Thai game has stepped up a lot. Mm-hmm. I've probably become a better coach.
Yeah.
In general, and I've figured out things that work better for my body. My stress level is lower because when I handed it off, what I was worried about was hitting both. Was coming from Muay Thai and going right to comedy, and then getting home at like 10 o'clock at night, 9:30, and then I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
because I didn't. That's why I didn't come out very much.
Mm-hmm.
And now that, like, speaking of Radio Room, I work security there, and I do some other private security work as well.
For their shows?
Yep.
I didn't know you were doing that.
Yep.
You've been doing that since
a couple months now.
Okay, nice.
And I've been doing private security for about the same amount of time.
Okay.
So, like, I will do as much as humanly possible to make as much money as humanly possible, in as simple a way as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Without, like, I would rather go to bed later than, like, break my back or stress myself out.
Yeah.
And thankfully, a lot of the security stuff I do is, like, pick up some drinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make sure nobody's fighting.
And that's so not as physically demanding because there's not. Yeah.
Yeah. But back to the Muay Thai side of things, like, I think I'm a lot better on my feet, and because I work southpaw and orthodox, and I can teach
southpaw, lefty.
Yep, and because I can teach both sides. You're right. No,
I don't know shit about Muay Thai.
I'm way more diverse, so you can put me in front of, like, a pro fighter, and I can do pad work for them. You can put me in front of an amateur fighter to get them conditioned. You can put me in front of a brand new person, and I can teach them. So I'm just advancing that part of my life, which has become a much bigger part of my life.
Yeah.
Which, if you told me that when I first moved down here, I'd be like, you're going to be a Muay Thai coach, and you're going to be on a level that you never thought you'd be at. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing comedy for over a decade. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm just going to play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And then, maybe die in an office job. Like, I didn't think that I would be where I'm at.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of things have changed.
Is there a top level of Muay Thai?
Ajahn.
Ajahn?
Ajarn.
So that's like you can't get any higher than that? So where are you on the ranking of, like,
for
Raja? What is it called?
Raja Academy. That's his last
Raja
name.
Academy. What is the top level?
Again,
I forgot instantly.
The owner, Harun Raja, he is an Ajahn now. He recently became an Ajahn, and we have a couple crews. That's a full-blown instructor. Like, you can go anywhere and start your own place.
Mm-hmm. So where are you?
I am close. I'm close to being a crew.
A crew. Okay.
So a couple more years. You have to be invited to be a crew, unless you're, like, from Thailand and grow up doing it.
Right.
Like, in America, you kind of have to be invited. You have to be at a certain level.
Okay.
And hopefully, I will make it there. Even if I'm just a high-level coach, it's fine.
So if you're not born in Thailand, how many years does it take to go from beginner to that?
Oh man, it can take a long time. But I've just worked and grinded away at it, and the effort shows. Like, I think that's why. I don't think it was like a mercy.
It's like 10
thing.
years, 20.
It can be up to 20 for some people.
Okay,
you never know. Hopefully, I'll get it in 10 years or less.
Okay,
that's the goal.
And how many years in are you?
I'll be 6 years in February next year.
Okay,
so I will be at the highest level coach. Assuming I get invited to get to that next level, I'll be the highest level coach
nice.
February. So
nice.
And I'm finding out new things, and I'm learning different ways to train people.
Now with Muay Thai, like, they do training, and then they do, like, where you actually fight another person, like matches and stuff.
Yep.
Do people come out and watch?
I can't make it to a lot of those. We're starting to get fighters back in the gym, which is cool, and I help train those guys. I do as far as the conditioning drills. I do a lot of pad work. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, they're dedicated enough to do a lot of their, like, endurance stuff. So they'll hit the bike, they'll hit the runs on their own. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be there, which is cool, which means they really do care about the sport. And they work on really a lot of the stuff. But, like, when it comes to some of the more physical conditioning, I will put them through hell, but I will do it with them.
Okay.
So there's no separation. There's no, like, I'm better than you and you do as I say. Like, I'm right there with you. Because iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic because whenever I was playing a sport growing up, the coaches rarely were physically doing the stuff with us. I think that's just how, traditional sports coaching is. But yeah, I'd never see my coaches doing anything. Every once in a while, like, it'd be like off hours, and I'd see them in the weight room, and they'd be lifting weights, and it would be a fraction of what we would be doing, which makes sense. They don't need to be big. It was football, so they didn't need to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yeah, part of that always pissed me off. Like we were dying in the heat,
And they're telling you
in August.
do more 25 more
do more
suicides,
down-ups.
ladies.
Do more down ups, you piece of shit. Like,
Burpees. Like, fuck you.
In hindsight, like knowing, like I think back to like college age kids. I kind of want to say, dude, my coach was such an asshole.
Yeah, most
like he's taking it like so seriously, but like it's D2, you know? Like
yeah, and like and it's fun because like
vindictive asshole.
Because like I look at this the same way as I've done most things in my life. If I am going to teach someone how to do it, doesn't matter whether it's skateboarding, snowboarding, soccer, Muay Thai, anything in stand up. If I cannot do it, who the fuck am I to tell you and teach you how to do it?
Yeah.
And that's a very specific mentality that I don't think.
We did have a lot of cool coaches too. I will say that. I'm kind of thinking about one guy who took it way too seriously because he had nothing else in his life that, I don't know. This guy was just insane. But, you know, a lot of the coaches we actually did have a lot of respect for because they had played football at the college level. So, like, it's kind of fun. Like, you at least need that credibility sometimes to respect the guy. Like, okay, he played it. He's been there. He's been where we are. And they can kind of have empathy. Even if they yell at you, they can later when they're watching film or whatever, they can be like, look, you did this wrong. Here's how you can do it better. So we did have good coaches too.
And I just want to give a quick shout out, other than Raja Academy, which has done wonders for me and a bunch of other people. We have a girl by the name of Charsley. I forget her last name, but Crew Mark Clem. He teaches at a different gym, but we have someone from the upstate area who's going to fight in the Olympics. She's going to represent America from Muay Thai, and she is a powerhouse. And she comes from this area. I've been to one of her seminars. They just got back from Thailand where she won her fight. So and Crew Mark was a fighter in Thailand. So so like when he says do this, same thing like you were talking about, like the coach and the college coach, the same thing. Crew Raja also fought. So when he teaches us how to do certain things, I'm sorry, Ajahn Raja, same thing. He's like, hey, do this.
Yeah.
Because he
knows. We will listen to you because you've done it at the highest level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just ends up being like.
Yeah. Same with comedy. Same with tied back into everything. I feel like there's credibility. At my company, it's the same. Like there's sales reps. Some of them are annoying. But
sales reps annoying.
What? Huge douchebags. Big egos. But there's certain things where like, oh, you know, this guy has hit. They do it in terms of quotas, which are annual. Like the annual quotas is what they think consider important. So this guy's hit. There's one guy on our team named Ron Barzak. I don't know if I should. Well, whatever.
Beep that out.
I just did. No, he's a legend. He's a legend. I think he's hit 30 quotas at my company.
Oh, then you're being good. Yeah, that's.
And I was always scared to talk to him, even because he had such this embedded in our culture.
So it's like a larger than life person.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, he's like as a new rep, you're like, oh, look up to that guy. Like, and then he was on my team our teams got realigned. He's a Tennessee guy. And he started to like open up to like some of the rookies and like actually help coach us. And then you realize he's not a douche. He's not impossible to talk to. He's a cool guy. And what's cool about a guy that's been there that long is he's kind of jaded by the corporate side. And he's like, all right, I'll tell you guys what's bullshit about our corporate culture. I'll tell you guys what you need to know. And I'll tell you guys what to do. And you got to look out for yourself because the corporation's never going to care about you totally as a person. Like you got to. And he gives great advice. And so, yeah. Like I like learning from those people that have been doing it forever. Comedy, anything, you know.
Like some advice for anyone who's ever afraid to talk to like one of their heroes or like a legend in whatever field. Just talk to them. The worst thing you're going to get is ignored, be told no. Best thing you're going to get is an insight into something.
For sure. And who cares? It's an embarrassing moment. Like if they blow you off, whatever. They're not going to remember it.
Just fire back like, oh, you're too good for me now. All right. Okay, cool. Keep living your boring, lonely fucking life, motherfucker. And if you fire back at them, they'd be like, oh, so you're not afraid of me. No, I'm not afraid of you. As a matter of fact, you can suck me from the back, you piece of shit. And then they'll be like, oh, you're bold. I'm bold as fuck. And then be like,
have you ever done that before?
Yeah. More than once in my life. I've done that to bosses. I've done that to people
my
like
gosh.
I used to look up to in various forms of entertainment, a lot of music.
Yeah.
People that like I should not have stepped to because like
Dude, so
I
lots of
get-
people have revenge fantasies about telling off people, but you've actually lived them
I've
out.
fought two of my bosses.
Oh my god.
So I was working for a food delivery place back in North Carolina. I'll tell you the story. This is the one I can actually talk about. The other one I had to sign paperwork. This one I did not have to.
Happy Gilmore over here, like, beating up your boss.
So I
Was
worked.
it very nice?
It wasn't. It was fun for me. I was working at a food delivery place back in North Carolina, and if anyone where I used to live in North Carolina, they'll know this story because some of them might have actually been privy to it. And I had come in because I was one of the managers, and I had come in to do the books for ordering and help him finalize certain parts of payroll, and just like adding up hours, but not doing the actual money. And another manager came in, like basically not quite the GM, but the GM for that particular location. And he was a little drunk, and he decided to start yelling at me like, "Why didn't you get this done?" I was like, "Because I've been out of town for a week, and you knew that." He started yelling at me and yelling at me. I was like, "Look, I'm just here."
He was drunk?
Yeah,
Okay.
he just showed up drunk at the job.
Okay.
No rhyme or reason. No, I don't know what was going on because again, I had just come back from Hellfest. That's why I was gone for a week, and he was yelling at me, and I finally started, like I just previously said, yelling at someone. I lost it. I wasn't even on the clock. I was just doing this because it's like a 5-minute thing. Just go in there, knock it out, put it down, and then they place the orders and finish everything the next morning for the morning manager. I did that, and he put his hands on me, and I was like, "Don't put your fucking hands on me." And he's like, "I'll do whatever I want. I'm blah 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 of this place." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck."
What did he do? Like touch your shoulder? Like, listen, man. Like,
No, he did that grabbing thing where you get real aggressive and try to dig your thumb into someone's like a collarbone.
and you're like, don't touch
I
me.
was like, "Don't fucking touch me."
Yeah.
And he kept doing it. I said, "You touch me again, I'm gonna fucking slap you." And he did it again. I slapped the shit out of him. And I started to walk out to my at the time minivan that I bought off my tab for $2,000. My first car was a 2003. No, 98 Dodge Caravan. It wasn't 2000.
Dodge Caravan.
Yeah.
My family drove one of those around the same time, actually. Those were big back then.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
The battle
Those were
van.
slick little cars. Or vans.
And then he followed me out to the parking lot.
So were you trying to like get away? Like, look,
No,
I'm bouncing.
I was like, I finished my job. It literally was a 5-minute thing. You just look at the previous week for sales. You look at the previous amount of product used.
Okay.
And you'd be like, oh, well, we don't need all this week. Oh, we need to get 2 of these of this because we use so much of this. Very simple. It's like you write down the line kind of shit. Mm-hmm. And he slapped me in the back of the head. I said, listen, you're going to get the shit kicked out if you keep this up.
Yeah.
And there are other employees like seeing us yelling and him being a dick. And he finally swung on me. And I just kind of moved out of the way. As you swing on me again, I'm going to beat the shit out
So
of
he
you.
didn't connect. He missed.
No, I just moved out of the way. And I said, and this is before I really knew how to fight. This was just like I was a brawler.
Yeah.
Just a kind of just a untrained. Like I took karate for 2 years, so I wasn't like really like where I am
You're
now.
like, what?
Yeah, it was just like I knew how to throw a punch. I knew how to kind of.
So after he missed, what'd you do?
I said, don't do it. If you do it again, I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of you. He swung on me again. He hit me in the ribs, and at which point I started kneeing the shit out of him. I got him to the ground. I started smashing his head into the ground, and some of the employees said, "Stop it!" And I'm like, "Oh, I should probably stop it." Cops showed up. Like, what happened? I was like, "Oh, he assaulted me, and I defended myself." And the other employees were like, "That's exactly what happened." They're like, "You can go home." Oh, okay, sick.
Dude. And he was drunk. So, like, you definitely had the credibility in that.
Yeah, and it was on camera. So, like,
Okay.
Now I did get yelled at for working off the clock. Mm-hmm. They're like, "Don't do that again." I'm like, "Okay."
So
But yeah,
you beat the shit out of a guy, but
And he got
mostly don't work off the clock.
yeah, and he got moved to another store for a while. He eventually came back to that store, but I was no longer working there.
Okay.
But like it's
So if you're going to beat the shit out of people, make sure the other guy's drunk.
Yeah.
It's on camera.
Yeah, like
And you got witnesses.
Yeah, big thing is don't put your fucking hands on someone. That's the big thing. Don't put your hands on someone. Mm-hmm. You never know what the other person's going to do to you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm scared of fights, dude.
Don't be.
I was out downtown recently. This was like Thursday night, and we saw I kind of know these people, so I won't. But there was one guy was a bouncer, and the other guy was a guy I kind of knew. and I was watching, probably from like 30 yards away. And I thought they were friends. I thought they were like bro hugging. And then all of a sudden, like one of the guys, there was like jostling, and one of the guys took a swing and connected with the other guy. And I was like, what the? And my immediate reaction was to run away. I like went to my other friends. I was like, guys, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. I was like, I am not intervening. I'm not tough enough to do anything.
Like, so
it's weird when two grown men start fighting. It is freaking scary.
it's not like maybe again like growing up.
Well, to me, I mean,
you played football.
I know, bro.
It's collision upon collision.
I know, but I have no interest in getting in that.
I think like growing up in hardcore is I think that's one reason why I'm so adept at dealing with violence more than anything else. Is it's violent music. Mosh pits are violent. Fighting security, like fighting bouncers, is commonplace. Pit beef is common.
Beef.
Oh, if you
Pit beef happens in the mosh pit.
yeah, if you hit someone the wrong way, or you touch the wrong dude, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's like swarm beatings.
Yeah.
When you're around that enough, you just I mean it's dumb as shit. Don't get me wrong, but when you're around it, you're just kind of like it's so normal.
Yeah, dude, it's weird. I've been to mosh pits one time in Carolina Rebellion. I don't know if you heard of that festival. It was so fun. It was with my buddy, and just thousands of people at multiple stages. And when we got into the mosh pit, I had like the opposite experience where people were like, "Yeah," and then if you bumped into somebody, they'd be so nice. They'd be like, "All right, sorry, bro, you okay? You okay? Yeah, I'm good. All right."
A lot of shows are like that, but
I appreciate that,
but there are certain shows where it's just fucking goon music and goons there. Like
no, I feel like there's another level of like underground shit that you've seen that like I've not been exposed to yet.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, it is a lot of fun, like being in like that around that kind of level of potential violence. Because I think what it does for you, and I've been going to shows since I was like 16, 17, so I turned 43 this year. Jesus Christ.
43.
I'm desensitized to
Dude,
so much.
you look great for your age, I think.
Thank you. When I shave all this bullshit off, I'll look maybe 35.
No, seriously, like when you look at full head of hair, you only got like a little gray down here. And 43. Yeah, you look great.
Thank you. But like just when you get desensitized to that amount of violence that quickly, it gives you a different perspective. It really does. And again, because I grew up around all that.
What's your perspective? What do you think your perspective is like different than like a normal person who wasn't around?
I'm not full of bitch blood.
Bitch blood?
I'm not a fucking coward. I'm not afraid to take a hit.
I'm a coward.
Like I accept that violence is part of normal society. That like you're gonna get hit eventually sometime in life. It's about how you react to it. Everyone says it's how you react to whatever situations, how you deal with whatever happens, whether it's like getting fired from a job, like getting broken up with, whatever it is, getting in a street fight. Whatever it could be, it's about how you react to it. And it's just that particular part of my life, I learned how to deal with it very quickly. Same with like people pass away. You learn, especially if it happens at a young age. Like most kids get exposed to death, like the death of a pet. Or like an old relative they've only met a few times. But when you're exposed to it constantly over and over and over and over and over, like I happen to have been, death becomes part of your normal everyday. Violence and death became so normal to me that I don't look at things as like these great tragedies. Like it's just the way it is. You live, you die. Eventually violence is going to come your way. And it's about reacting to it the right way, not being afraid of it. Just be like, it's going to happen. And I think just because
that's kind of cynical. That's dark.
It's not dark. It's reality.
Yeah.
You live, you die.
Yeah, it is. Do you think it's made you more calm in your response to those things?
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, it's a part of it. So.
I mean, I've been robbed at gunpoint more than once. So I've had guns,
what?
Yeah, I've had guns pulled on me more than once.
You've been robbed at gunpoint here in Greenville?
No.
No
one's hard in Greenville. Everyone talks big, but no one is hard in Greenville.
Yeah.
Most of it was like delivering pizza is when I've had guns pulled on me.
And they're like, I'm not paying for this. Give me the pizza.
You get jumped from behind, whatever. Shit happens.
Dude.
When I was a bouncer.
Did you give them the pizza? Or did you?
I mean.
You kind of have to if you got a gun.
$15 on my life.
Yeah.
When I was
working. No, I had one guy that was the manager at my high school job. I worked at a Mancino's Italian restaurant, and he was so hardcore as a manager, but very like calm and collected. His name was Troy, and he like was very like very strict manager, but like he cared about the business. And we were all convinced he would take a bullet for the register. He would, if somebody tried to rob us, he'd be like, "No, I'm not giving you anything." And he'd be like, "You'd have to shoot me for this." And I always wanted us to get robbed to see like, my buddy and I actually, we thought about robbing the place just to see what he'd do. So we did. We stole a lot from there. I'm just kidding.
Jesus. Like it really depends. Like you get, I mean,
He would stand his ground out of principle, but
like when I was a bouncer in college, I can honestly say like that's probably when violence in my life, going back to like robbery and shit, really escalated. You throw people out of a bar, college age kids, everyone's full of liquor and drugs. Everyone knows somebody or is a somebody, or do you know who my father is? Like that sort of bullshit.
yeah,
Everyone's always
that's in
amped
college.
up. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, isn't that so stupid?
It is.
How people,
it's big dumb, and like
people
like,
flex in weird ways. Like, dude, you know who my father is?
You know,
Shut up. I'm from a wealthy family or something.
like, yeah, like cool.
Dude, I could totally see like out here downtown people.
Oh, I can
like the college age.
I can honestly say like Friday night was fight night. Like every Friday, Thursday was ladies' night at the bar that I worked at. Friday was fight night. That's when most of the fights happened.
Yeah.
Saturday was a lot calmer in comparison to Friday. The summers would get summer work like at least twice a summer. It'd be like a crazy brawl, but the rest would be pretty fine.
Yeah.
Certain game nights. If we won, it would get wild, but it wouldn't be in the bars. It'd be outside of the bars.
Yeah.
Or lost, either way. So,
Yeah.
but like, I can honestly tell you, like, working as a bouncer for several years at that bar.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of shit.
I can honestly say I fought for my life more than once.
Yeah.
I've been stabbed a couple times.
Dude.
I had guns pulled on me just from like throwing someone out of the bar. I've been followed home. I've been shot at my apartment.
I have no desire. Yeah.
So like I said, violence has been a part of my life. I'm
Yeah.
totally fine with it.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to step up, you're more than welcome to.
No. We don't want fights.
It's not a true invitation, but you know.
Yeah,
if you want to.
We were talking about Justin Blackburn, who wrote that
Yeah.
book. It's hard to get there when you're already there. Shout out. But we were at a mic.
He's a fraternity brother of mine, actually.
Is he?
Yep, we're both Kappa Sigs.
Kappa Sigs.
Yep.
Shout out to Kappa Sigs.
Different chapters, but yeah, same fraternity.
Well, he. I'm not gonna do the whole joke.
Weird
but
twist.
He
I'm
had
a fraternity man.
He had a joke on Thursday about how it's weird how men associate kicking somebody's ass with like being a real man and like, picking fights and stuff. Which you don't pick fights.
No. I know better.
Yeah, exactly. But he's like, if you're a real man, you'd be able to handle your emotions. If you're a real man, you'd be able to see two men kissing and not shit your pants. Like, if you're real, and he goes into this thing about, a typical guy like that, and how they're really just fighting against like love and their own emotions, and they're just little kids that don't know how to handle it. I thought, oh, it's so funny, but yeah, man.
All right, so we've talked about
learn that Zen, like be chill kind of.
Talked about my love of cats and my weird love of violence.
Violence?
Here's the thing. Like,
you want to move on? What do you want to talk about next?
I guess I'll sum up the violence thing real quick.
Put a bow on the violence. Yeah.
Whereas like they say like two of the motivating factors for people are like either sex or violence. I've never like sex is cool, but if you ever punch someone in the face and watch them bleed all over you, I would prefer
what?
Even the memes like sex is cool, but have you ever blah blah blah? I've always had more of an attraction towards violence than sex, and like for a long time, I got made fun of because I didn't really date where I lived in Rutherford County. A lot of people thought that I was gay because I didn't talk about women. I was watching martial arts movies. I was skateboarding. I was playing video
What
games.
age?
Pretty much till I left.
So what age span do people think you were gay?
I'd probably say like 12, 13 until I left.
Oh, dude.
I mean, I did
That
date.
sucks. That's like bullying years.
And yet...
And that was in a time... What years were those?
That
was
was
the 90s?
90s.
Yeah, dude. Back in the 90s, people... That was really shitty. People would be like, using gay slurs and stuff and like
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I
got
feel like
picked
now
on.
in like the middle school years, I'm hoping bullying for gays is less
I got picked on. Don't get me wrong,
for
but
gay
like,
people.
what ended up happening was I was a straight A student, but I also excelled at sports. But I was also listening to violent music. But I was also skateboarding. But I was also snowboarding.
That's awesome.
So I was too much of a jock for the quote unquote nerdy kids, for the straight A students. I was too much of a nerd and a weirdo for the jocks. The more fringe kids thought that I was one or the other and didn't fit in there. So I really was, in a lot of ways, like kind of alone.
Yeah.
So when it came to like doing individual, I didn't have a ton of friends.
Yeah.
Growing up, but the ones I did have, we were the same fucking kind of rejects.
Yeah.
So,
you know what's weird now? I was having a conversation with this girl who was describing her high school dynamics, and she's 10 years, well, I'm 34. She's like 9 or 8 or years younger than me. So I noticed a difference, and maybe definitely a difference between when you were growing up.
More than likely.
But she was describing to me this group of what she was considering popular kids, and they played lacrosse. They were like well liked and popular amongst a lot of people, and they played Yu-Gi-Oh! And they were really into Yu-Gi-Oh! And anime. And it was like this weird mixture that I had never heard of, and I don't know if this is just unique to
It's
this.
like 21 Jump Street.
Yeah. It was like, yeah.
Like
they go back
the movie,
to high
not the
school.
show. The movie.
The movie, yeah, when like Channing Tatum and them
Yeah.
and Jonah Hill go back and they think high school's a certain way. Like it's cool to shit on, you know, kids who study a lot or
Yeah.
kids who do nerdy things like that. But then all the cool kids were doing that. It's
Yeah.
exactly like that. And then the shift has happened even more now to where like in high school now, like there's no like you have to, if you're a jock, you can't go out for the school play, or if you're this, you can't also do this. Or like for you, like, you know, whatever you were into, like you were too nerdy to do this or be a part of the whole group. Now I think it's more like a blend across. This is just, I don't know if it's like that everywhere in America, but anecdotally, this is one story I'm basing it on.
Well, when you live in a small
think-
town in the South that has 4 syllables, you're not going to get a lot of more open-mindedness.
Well, this was here. I mean, I don't know.
That was Greenville. I lived in Rutherford County, Rutherfordton, during my more formal years,
Which is where, West Virginia?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. I'm an idiot. North Carolina. Yeah.
Well, I think West Virginia probably would have been more accepting, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah. But I think it's going in a more accepting direction in a lot of ways.
It might be.
Or just more of like, we're thinking about things differently than we had before.
I hope so. Fucking we need it.
And I've told about this before too, but I saw my cousin Caroline do a school play. She was in Beauty and the Beast in Atlanta in her high school, and she did great. But the thing I noticed was there were a lot of jocks and like guys that were playing in really great acting roles, and they were singing and they were doing all this stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like a backwards way of looking at that 20 years ago would be like, I'm a jock. I'm not going to do theater. That's gay or something really ignorant like that. But these kids were like putting their all into it, and they were all having a great time, putting themselves out there. I was like, that's cool. So I like this younger generation in some ways, I think.
The
Generation.
I think I don't like about them is they're too fatalistic with their approach to a lot of things. That's one thing that
How so? What do you mean by that?
Here's where I get canceled.
We'll do old men screaming at cloud moment.
Yeah,
For both.
And this is like I said, this is where I get canceled.
Too fatalistic.
They're too fatalistic in the fact that they think everything is a personal affront, rather than just like, here's the actual context of something. It's no further than that.
The woke sensitivity.
Okay, I want to say something about being woke. For those of you that don't know where woke comes from, it actually comes from Black culture, and it's about being awake and being aware of things that are happening. Usually with gentrification, you heard that more in the late 90s, early aughts in places like Brooklyn. But it goes back all the way to like the 1900s. I want to say like Tulsa, Oklahoma area. I forget the name of the town where there was a prosperity among a black town that was actually doing better than all the white towns around the area, and they were awake to what was going on. Anyways, I know I've butchered some of that. That's where the term woke came from, and now it's used as a pejorative amongst really dumb motherfuckers. All right, so there's your history lesson.
Okay.
But the fatalistic approach to the youth have is everything is used as a personal affront, and it's always aimed directly at them, and that's the problem with them being fatalistic towards everything. They think everything. It's not being too sensitive. it's taking it to an extreme no matter what. Like every time someone says something, it does not fall 100% in line with their ideology of insert whatever it is.
Yeah.
And like that is more of like an I don't like saying neo-fascist approach, but it's closer to that than it is to like, hey, I agree with 95% of the stuff you're saying, but this 5% that I don't like, you're a Nazi. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm not a Nazi. Why can't it's 95? It's still an A, motherfucker. Why can't you like pull back and see like not everything's going to be 100% your way?
For sure.
It's almost like the fatalistic approach. You're being very selfish and you're not willing to accept a small difference.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's,
I guess, yeah.
So and the fact
definitely
that,
a negative for sure.
that woke is a pejorative is very dumb. Like Florida's anti-woke law. Oh, you mean like being a good person? You're against being a good fucking person? Cool, Florida. Fall off into the goddamn ocean. No one, we don't really need you.
Well, okay.
I have friends in Florida, and I want them to be safe, but the rest of it,
no. I was gonna say, the sensitivity stuff. I guess I'm trying to be like optimistic about like how if high schoolers are more open-minded about whatever clique or they don't have to be a part of just one.
Yeah.
I want to think that the younger people like they think about things differently, and they're not going to concern themselves maybe with all the sky is falling bullshit. Because to me, when I listen to like the group chat with my college age married buddies and then my parents and stuff, there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of fear around what's going on with COVID, what's going on with politics, what's going on with this. I kind of feel like even younger people are like, I don't really care. It's probably going to be fine. I got a bunch of cool shit I want to make. I got a bunch of cool shit I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to do stuff on social media. I'm going to be cringe.
God, I hate when people say that. It's like,
yeah.
That's actually one of the most ass-lancingly annoying terms I hear. Like, it's so cringe. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Stop
they're afraid. They can be afraid to put themselves out there. I feel like some young people are cool with putting themselves out there, but they're not concerned with the fear mongering of all the crazy shit in society. That's bad and scary and real, but you don't have to dwell on it.
I think the big difference when you're talking about like
political ideologies, they don't want to get
the 21 Jump Street thing with everyone being more accepting is that there's more information out there.
Yeah, more information. Exactly.
And it's spread faster and it's more accessible.
Yeah.
That's really the big difference.
Because they're getting phones in their hands at like freaking.
They have the library.
By fourth grade, third grade, people have smartphones now.
They have the Library of Alexandria at their fingertips, for lack of a better way of putting it. And having that out there makes it easier. Whereas my generation, like we had zine libraries, and that's like, and I'm being very glib about saying that. Your generation really had the internet, but it was more of in its infancy.
Yeah, mine had dial-up. That's where I started. 7th grade dial-up.
Your parents
trying to find porn on dial-up.
Your parents had the Dewey Decimal System. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
these kids getting the Library of Alexandria. I like how you put that.
Yeah.
At 3rd grade, what is that doing?
It's both
broadening like how they think about shit.
It's also overstimulating. It's
overstimulating.
They don't know how to control like. It's both good and bad. It's good because the ideas are there. It's bad because it stunts their emotional growth because you're showing them 10 million things at once and trying to process all of that instead of going through it slowly. Is more detrimental. Like I can go on my phone right now.
So you think it's better to go through it slowly? Like
it's better to say, hey, here are all the options. What do you want to learn first? Okay, well, I've learned this. Well, what else do you want to learn?
We're going to learn math for an hour. We're going to learn geography for an hour. We're going to learn
about this sort of philosophy for an hour.
Science, yeah.
I would rather have everything available and then like pick and choose at a pace that makes sense. When you have it all thrown at you at once, that's where I think a lot more of the problems happen than people want to admit. So
yeah. I'm wondering. I think there'll be a lot of problems. I wonder like all the good stuff that'll happen too. Like I wonder how different. Actually, Moira Goyri?
Yeah,
in
love her.
Asheville. Yeah, so she had. I don't want to do another bit. I'll just say the point of her joke was that daytime television has really fucked us because the head of Apprentice and Fear Factor are now like, the figureheads in modern culture.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan and Donald Trump as two prominent that has really, kind of fucked us. But where they started was daytime television. And like that over the course of the last 20 years, those have bubbled up to the top, and those are like the powerful people. And I was wondering, like, what is that equivalent of today? Like, are TikTokers now in 20 years going to be the political candidates and powerful people that are like guiding the cultural conversation? That's a little scary.
TikTok is dumbing us down. By the way, everybody, TikTok is owned by China, and they are going to use it against us. Not weird conspiracy. It will happen. Mark my words.
Yeah.
I'm also a grown-ass man with adult-sized genitals, so I don't really need TikTok.
But I just thought that was interesting, because if you go back and watch an Apprentice episode or a Fear Factor episode, it is like not even the same culture today. It's like,
no, it's not.
Weird. People wouldn't sit and watch that now.
No.
I just wonder how our, cultural consciousness now is like different already a lot. How much more different is it going to be? I think 20 years. I
think one of the things that bothers me with social media,
it's happening so fast too,
is not just the pace of it, but the idea of influencers in any way, shape, or form being actual people of true influence.
Yeah.
The idea of
their opinions being looked to as
them being famous, of them having actual cultural impact. Like, I don't care if you have millions of views. I don't care if you have millions of followers. Are you changing policy? No.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Are you actually improving the lives of your community? No. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Are you actually inventing something?
Yeah.
No. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
I don't care how many funny skits you have. I don't care about any of that dumb bullshit. Unless you're taking a picture of like your cat and going, hey, this is a cat that we rescued. Mm-hmm. Here's some local rescues in my area. Here's a resource to reach out to rescues in your area. Yeah. That's different.
To me, it's cool if you're like doing it for fun, or like because you want to do it, and then screw how many people watch it. And I want people to watch stuff. I would love for more people to watch the podcast or see the local but at the end of the day, I don't want to like sell out for like.
First of all, you're not selling out. You're saying like, hey, here's some stuff you can have a conversation about.
Yeah.
Big difference between saying I'm an influencer and I'm important.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gigantic difference. And there are people that are on social media that are using the platform or whatever it may be for a betterment of something. Mm-hmm. But the big problem with social media, and it has been this way for years, is that it is nothing more than self-righteousness and a way to bolster their own fucking bullshit. It has nothing to do with improving things around them. And the more people start taking these social media influencers and people that have tons of followers, you're a fucking follower. Think about the title of follower. You're not a leader.
Yeah.
There's leaders and followers. If you're just a follower, you're not doing shit. And if you're doing things at the whim of an influencer, what are you accomplishing?
Yeah.
Like what are you creating?
Yeah. That's
not a goddamn thing.
I like people like that are, try to make their own stuff. Like it's cool. Like I like to encourage people to like, try making your own stuff because it's so fun. It's scary to make your own stuff because it'll be cringe. But,
God damn it.
But I like people.
Cringe AF, bro.
Yeah, it's cool when people start to do it themselves. I actually really like that. I like to tell people to try stand-up if you never tried it before. Yeah. If you've ever thought about it, freaking do it. Yeah, like it doesn't matter. There's not a limited number of like spots or stuff. Like there's a lot of people.
Is. There's a limit.
Well,
some people need to quit.
Some people should quit. Some people
stop.
Some people should off them. I'm just kidding.
No, some people should.
No.
Enrich the gene pool. Don't spread your bullshit to the rest of the West. Sorry,
but the difference.
That's starting, Adam.
Making stuff and following stuff. The other thing is that I hope happens is that people like the group of people that follow stuff, like they kind of eventually get sick of, like let's say somebody gets Instagram famous or like and it's kind of douchey about it, or like they start to feel themselves a little bit more and they're not authentic or they're not like doing it for the right reasons anymore. People will start to fall off. Like here's somebody that I kind of got annoyed with, and I don't know. I don't mean to.
If I could interrupt you, if you're following these like the douchey people, like you say, you go, you know what, this is dumb as fuck. I need to create something. This is, if you have that moment of self awareness where you're like, yo, I got to do something good. I need to do something that puts something truly good out into the world, or at least makes me a better person.
Yeah.
If that inspires you to do that, then fantastic. But 95% of the stuff out there is not making people do that. All right,
Right.
continue.
Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
feel like, okay, so what can happen is people get and then they start to like feel themselves too much, and then their quality starts to drop off. I hope the audience starts to drop off with it, because they're like, this doesn't resonate with me anymore, because you started as like this cool person just doing it for fun, and now you like think you're the shit, and I don't like that.
The ego.
Yeah.
Ego
So, like,
behind 90,
and I don't-
95% is fucking insane.
So I was gonna say the name of a person that's like famous that I've kind of started to like his content a little less is Andrew Schultz. I don't know if
We're not related.
well, oh yeah, you're not related. Yeah,
I've been asked that seriously so many times.
I like Andrew Schultz and stuff, but I kind of felt like his recent special and then how his podcast has gotten so successful. It's like it's a little bit like I don't know, and maybe it's totally stupid for me to say this because like what the fuck, but. Just a little bit of arrogance and stuff. A little bit of like, okay, I'm established now. I'm this guy. He kind of got away from his roots a little bit.
And that's the
and
thing.
I think hopefully in like the, people vote by what they'll watch. I'm hoping that, there's a correction for that. Like nobody can get so big that it's like,
That's what I'm hoping with
like quality rises to the top, I guess. Cream rises to the top, hopefully.
the cream or the most
people
popular.
start to like a lot of people start to like more things of quality as opposed to like just the crack for your brain shit that's like
It's either going to be the quality or the most popular, and not nary the two shall meet all the time, which is a problem. That's why I'm really hoping that this nonprofit thing that I'm doing, if I have to eventually take my name away from
like
it,
something like that, it's fucking
then
cool.
that's fine. I'll
like a cat nonprofit is fucking cool.
I'll take my
like a local
like,
thing,
and like it's an homage. It's like skateboarding stuff too. Is what we're gonna is merch, stickers, pins, skateboard decks. And if my name has to disappear from it for it to thrive, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's not about me.
Right.
It's about a cause.
Right, and it's a local cause. That's the other thing too. Like it'd be cool to have more like local stuff, like stuff around
Like
you.
I want to grow it.
Like,
to
I think that's
regional,
healthier
and
because
then-
to me, like the big conflicts that people get all upset about is kind of like global. It's like your political ideology. That's what people fight about. But if you know people in your neighborhood,
yeah,
like that's people don't fight as much.
like I want my goal with it is like to grow it from one to make sure it fucking succeeds after the first two drops, and grow it locally, then regionally. Then if it stops regionally but it continues, that's great. If it goes nationally, dude, I will have achieved something that I never thought I would have achieved. And I use me
You want
as
to take
just
this thing national?
yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
And I would love for it to be something that gets so big that it bleeds into other countries. Just to be like, hey, take care of these animals.
Take care of these cats.
Take care. Why are you not?
Yeah.
I don't like the stigma of black cats.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. That shit really bothers me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why that popped up now instead of like earlier in the conversation. But I don't know.
Yeah.
About 45 minutes to an hour ago, we're gonna go back to Radio Room. Let's go back to Radio
Comedy. You
Room.
want to talk about comedy?
Yeah, let's talk about comedy and Radio Room and all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk about some of the other
So
topics tonight.
Radio Room,
morning, whatever.
For anybody, a lot of people know what Radio Room is, but anybody who doesn't, it's one of the coolest mics here in town. I think it's not the most well attended every time. It's not like the most flashy. But it is like it's like the coolest. I mean, like you can go there and try anything, and it's well, not anything. Don't be a edgelord douchebag, as I've learned.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's not cool.
No,
but
it's not.
But yeah, I really do like this place, and it has been fun, and we appreciate you kind of like handing that off, like giving us younger people a chance to host and just screw around with shows, and yeah, I love that place.
Yeah, and I'm actually taking it back in the new year.
It's moving to Wednesdays.
Going back to Wednesdays. It's going to be at 8:30 now.
8:30.
It's only going to be 14 spots, so it's going to be done as far as the lineups. It's going to be done the old way, so it's going to be done in the group chat. If you're not in the group chat, sorry. I'm going to hold a certain amount of spots for out-of-town comics that aren't in the group chat. So, like, if Cody texts me, I was like, hey, can I comment? Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm going to start making sure that at least one person every week that we have it. There's going to be a few weeks that we don't because of shows, but One person's going to be 10 minutes.
That was fun. You used to do that. You used to let people do 10 minutes at the end of the show. You told me to do that like within a month of doing comedy.
Pressure test.
It was so horrible.
And
was fun, though.
I'm gonna set up some new parameters. I'm bringing back my one rule, and I'm gonna crack the whip on that. I'm gonna bring back Q&A at the end.
Yeah.
The first one I'm gonna do, just to kind of reestablish things, and then we'll start doing. We'll start bringing two people back up, and
we've had a lot of fun stuff at Radio Room. Like we did roast of Whitney.
Yep.
We did Jeff Thompson.
Yep.
Yeah, we never did a roast for me. Just saying. I'm just kidding. There was no occasion ever to do that. No, was it Jeff's 40th birthday? I'm totally kidding. Was it Jeff's?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing I want to grow that room back, because we've been lucky enough to have touring comics come through as regular as humanly possible. I want that room to be as premier of a room as Coffee Underground.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to be on that level for a long time, because I think Coffee Underground is like one of, if not the longest running.
Coffee Underground is so great because it's got it's got the history, the location is more favorable to just people off the street walking in, not knowing about it, and the structure of the room being you only need a few people to be a freaking great show.
Yeah, and again, I think it's like the longest running open mic in the upstate. So
yeah,
they have that. And Radio Room, it has come and gone, whether it was the old location.
What's the street that it's on right now?
I want to say it's Rutherford or Poinsett Highway. I don't know. That's terrible.
They're starting to put shit out there. They're starting to put more businesses. I don't know if they're gentrifying, whatever, but
that is a good word for it.
There's going to be more people
through
that area. So I think it's definitely a chance for more audience and some really cool shows there.
And I do have a lot of long-term plans for as long as that place will let me have a mic there and let me have shows there.
And I feel like Radio Room has grown. There have been some nights there where it is packed,
and it's
not always, but obviously,
there are people that thought the comedy was gone because I wasn't there anymore, and it was on Tuesday. They're like, "What'd you do?" I was like, "Well, we had to move to Tuesday because they have started having all these tours come through on Wednesday." And for those that don't know, and this isn't really inside baseball, but we didn't think it was going to last longer than a couple months, because when the pandemic hit, everyone's like, "Oh, it's going to be just for a couple months," and we're like, "Okay, we'll run it for a couple months just for something to do." And then it extended.
Yeah.
And then it extended. And then it kept going. And then it kept going. And then it kept going.
Yeah.
And, we were very fortunate to have that. And, everyone at Radio Room, because one of my first, paid shows I did at the old location.
Yeah.
Nick Shaheen!
Godfather of Greenville comedy.
He is the true godfather of Greenville comedy. So whenever Jeff has said that to me, I've always felt like, that's Nick Shaheen. That's not me. And Nick... really is the big reason why I'm doing this still. I don't know if he meant to give me the torch and run with it, or if he just dropped it and it's like, whoever wants to pick it up can do it. But I chose to.
So it's been 10 years since you've started comedy, right?
Yep, a little over 10 years.
So if you had a crystal ball, where would you want to see Greenville comedy in 10 years from now? The year would be 2032.
Yeah, 2032. I'm going to give two answers, and it's either be good or bad. Depending on your outlook. Either completely gone.
What?
No, I'm serious. Either completely gone, because I would rather it be gone than become so fucking watered down and boring.
Keep Greenville comedy weird.
I mean, not necessarily weird, just keep it fucking exciting.
Yeah.
Or to be thriving with multiple venues that cater to every audience. Because I don't feel right now that everything caters to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't feel that enough people have really stepped up to really put their all into it. And I'm not talking about like individual bookers. I'm talking about all the comics. And I'm talking to all the comics. I'm talking to all the comics.
Oh, no.
I'm talking to all the comics.
Oh,
I'm talking to every last fucking one of you. I'm not talking to the people that put shows together. I'm talking to every last fucking one of you. And I can put myself in the same goddamn group, so I can say this. You don't like it? Suck my dick.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what do you got to say to the comics?
Don't promote shows that only you are on. That's really annoying.
Okay.
Don't exclude other people because you think they're not good enough. Everyone else has put you on shows, so they wanted to give you a chance. Give everyone else a chance. If you know they've been working hard and they've improved, put them on. Even if it's just opening, give them a shot. Why are you not doing that? The fuck's wrong with you? You want to be on shows? Give them a chance. Do you want to know why I got to where I am? Because someone gave me a chance. That's why I've given almost every single comic a chance. I have almost fulfilled every single person in Greenville comedy shot on my shows. I am catching up from COVID times, and I've almost got everybody on. Mm-hmm. Do you know how hard that is to put every single person in Greenville comedy starting almost 8 years ago to now? Put people on shows. If they eat a bag of dicks, they eat a bag of dicks. Lesson learned. Keep watching them. I know where all y'all skill levels are at because I've been watching you for so fucking long.
Anything else?
Don't be predatory. Don't be shitty. Don't be divisive.
Anything else?
Keep writing. Don't rest on your laurels. Go to new places.
Yeah.
There you go.
Da, 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 da. Da, da, da.
David, you do realize that.
I'm just trying to break the tension.
Okay, you're the one who's tense. I'm just giving an
good
answer. I'm just giving an honest answer that nobody wants to give.
I like when people...
I'm not going to give a let's jerk each other off answer. I have no reason to do that.
No, I agree.
I have nothing. I have nothing to gain, nothing to lose. If people get mad at me, then get fucking mad at me. Say it to my face. I really don't give a shit.
Yeah, this is why I don't like running shows. I like this.
No,
this is just chill, and we like to do. I like to have anybody on for podcasts and do stuff like that. But when it comes to shows, it gets into this. You
got to crack the whip. You got to crack the whip.
The stress of booking shows on a local level. It's like, it's stressful. It's hard.
It's stressful doing all
and the egos get involved, like we talked about.
You got to remove the
all
ego.
That kind of stuff.
And when the egos are there, then put them in check. Mm-hmm. Like, well, I need this, I need that. Fuck you. This is what you're getting. Don't like it, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
And that's really how you got to handle it. Because all that's going to happen, man, all that's going to happen is someone's going to be mad. Oh, this person said this. They didn't give me everything that I wanted. Well, maybe you don't fucking deserve it.
Yeah, that's
maybe you don't fucking deserve it. And as someone and I'm going to sound like a little bit of a bitter bitch when I say this. I've been doing this long enough to know how good I am, but I know how good I'm not. Mm-hmm. I can be 100% honest about that. There are people that have never given me a chance who I have helped out for years. So I'll talk shit on them. What are you going to do? Continue to not book me? I really don't fucking care. Mm-hmm. I will continue to shit on you as often as possible. Fuck you. And the people that have helped me out, that have wanted to help me out and will continue to help me out, if I can't make your shows because of my schedule, I'm sorry, but I love you for still thinking about me. And I will always talk you up to anyone who asks. I promise you. You have my word because I still do it to this day. Mm-hmm. For anyone who's stuck with me through all of my bullshit, you know who you are. You're still going to have my back, and I'm going to have your fucking back till the day I stop drawing breath. If you're not going to be there for people when they need you the most, and if you're not going to give people a chance to have like a comeback, if you're not going to do that, get the fuck out of my business. Get the fuck out of this business. Fucking quit. Fuck you, fuck your mother. Fuck yourself with a fucking knife. I don't want you around. I don't want your energy around. I don't want your vibe around. I don't want your bullshit in this business.
This is a good family-friendly episode.
No, it is. It's honest. People don't want this honesty from people. They want to jerk each other off, and they want to. It's like the blind leading the blind, for lack of a better. They want to think they're doing the right thing, and you're not. You're fucking things up in the long run. Yeah. There was a few years ago. We'll say about 5 or 6. I think, and it was either Elijah Transow, I always fuck up his last name, or it might have been Miguel Osornio, or it might have been Frey Ford. And I purposely did my best to tank Greenville comedy because I did not. No, I did. I purposely tried to ruin it. I did not like where it was going. Mm-hmm. It wanted to be this family friendly kind of thing, this PG-13. I'm like, that's not art. There are people that are not going to do that. They're not going to capitulate. They're not going to want to do this. Now, I can do that stuff.
It's funny, that function is necessary. You got to keep the artists in with the corporate angle.
It is, but
you got to have both, or then it'll get too.
But you can't have only
shitty.
that.
You can't have only art. You can't have only the corporate. You got to have both commingling.
But it was moving towards just one thing, and I did everything I could to fucking crush it. I did everything I could. I made a lot of people mad. I made a lot, and some people may still be mad at me. I don't give a shit. Get, stay, die mad. And then I started doing everything on my own, and that's kind of how like Stonegrown started, because Heath Stone, who is
my name is Heath Stone. Is that the guy from the same guy from those commercials?
Maybe.
You remember that? Okay.
Because Heath was doing the same thing. He was booking his own shows, and then he was booking his own shows. Frey Ford and Chaz Scoville were booking their shows. And it was RSBS was hosted by Chaz and Frey. I can sing the whole song, but I'm not going to. It's a very, very memorable song. So if you ever get a chance to hear it, please do. And then I was doing my shows. And then Frey moved to Atlanta. And then Chaz and Heath started Scoville and Stone. And then Chaz moved to either Atlanta or I'm pretty sure it was Seattle. And then I don't know why. I think he was planning to move to Atlanta. And then Heath and I started working together, and I was booking shows independently. He was, and we all kind of we came together, and we started Stonegrown Comedy. It was called Do the Thing, but we changed it to Stonegrown. It's a much better name. And we started booking all the shows. And we've done a ton of charity shows. We've done like over 400 paid shows in Greenville. And if my math is right, I think we've only had 7 shows on the red.
Nice.
We've raised a shitload of money for charity, and I will continue to do so. My role will change eventually, where I'm not going to be in the forefront, and that's fine. But I would rather keep going and getting all the newer comics up to snuff.
Yeah.
And to understand that, like, this is a business, and there's times you're going to have to be cutthroat. And then other times you just got to stand your ground. People think it's cutthroat.
Yeah.
But like, if you really want to do this,
just be funny. That's the only thing.
No, it's not just that.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not just that.
It is.
You can't be just
funny. Is like gravity.
You can't just funny. You can't just be funny and be able to be like proficient at booking.
Well, yeah, be funny and don't be a dick.
You be a dick. There's times you're going to have to be a dick. There's times you might have to walk a promoter at knife point to an ATM.
Oh my God.
What?
You've done that? I
mean, not in comedy. In music, maybe not.
Yeah. We don't want to incriminate you here. Yeah,
I'm not going to fully incriminate myself. But there's times you're going to have to fucking nut up. And you're just going to have to do it. You're going to have to figure out who you are and what you're going to want to do in this. If you just want to be a performer, just be a performer. There's no shame in that. But don't try to do more or tell people how to do things. If you just want to be a booker, just be a booker. But don't tell comics how to do comedy.
Yeah.
If you want to do all of it, be prepared to fucking suffer.
I think it's fair to be like, okay,
physically.
This is a room I'm booking. This is the type of shows I do. If that's not your style of comedy, fine. We're not going to do that for this show.
Yeah.
I'm not judging you personally, but that's not the kind of show I want to do.
Yeah.
To me, that's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is, sometimes, Ben has done a clean show.
Yeah.
And he'll book,
clean comics.
Yeah. Or this is, a radio room show, maybe different flavor. Or this is, Comedy Zone, like doing.
They have national touring comics that are like
they'll have like
they're working
big
a
name
specific
black
circuit.
Comedians that'll be a different type of flavor.
They'll have like Big J Okerson on his like specific run for this particular. They have comics that work certain circuits. Like I get that. And
you're talking more about the proclaiming of like all comedy should be this way. And
it
should be like
that's that weird fatalistic bullshit.
What is it? Monolithic.
Yeah. I don't know.
Is that the right word? Monolithic.
I don't know.
All the same. One.
Homogenous. I don't know.
I don't know.
Something. 9/11 was an inside job. I don't know. Epstein didn't kill himself. Maybe he did. I don't know. The cameras weren't working. We don't know, guys. But it's no. If you're gonna do all of it like I've done, and this is not me patting myself on the back. I assure you, be prepared to put yourself through some shit. Be prepared to like really question who you are. If you're doing the right thing, be prepared for certain skill levels to drop off. Be prepared for some to like explode and do really well. You're going to suffer mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. Like you're going to go through some shit. And if you're not prepared to do that, if you don't have the mindset to do it, then don't do it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to not want to do it, but if you're not prepared or you don't have someone to guide you, it's going to tear you down. It's make you never want to do it again. But if you have someone like, and there's people that have taught me how to do it. So I'm not saying I'm the guiding person. I've had other people teach me how to do it. Same one when I booked hardcore shows. I had the right people around me to teach me how to do it.
Yeah. There's cool stuff too that happens in comedy scenes where like I went to my first one in Asheville, and I know you've done this before.
Yep.
It's like a joke writing workshop.
Yep.
So Cody and James Harrod, they were kind of leading it, where we went up before Mike, and there was like 6 of us, and you bring a bit. And this is my first time there. I didn't really want to do it, but they sat around the stool and the microphone. It's like where the normal stage was. It'd be like at Radio Room, like before a show. And then you have to go up and do a bit in front of just and it was like so uncomfortable. But I forced myself to do it, and it was awesome. Like I got like really good tag idea, just forcing myself to do it. And I'm glad that I, because like a part of me doesn't like to do that. I like to just do it on my own, try it if it fails, but to like get feedback from people, it's uncomfortable. But a lot of times the senior comics can help. Yeah. They've done some of that at Comedy Zone a little bit.
What we do is uncomfortable as comics. It's just
like that mentorship, like of like a better who knows what the hell they're doing. It's like they can help somebody like me who's younger, or like whoever.
Like most
and you get shit out of it.
Most of life's uncomfortable. Just this bottom line.
Asking for help's uncomfortable to me.
It's most of life is thriving in uncomfortability and learning how to deal with it. So
and stand-up's like fiercely like by yourself. So you don't always want to ask for help, but I always appreciate it when the older comics, more experienced, help out the younger
either
ones.
Works.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I've seen like comics that have been doing it for years that are older. I won't say more experienced, but older. Try to give advice to new comics, and I've told them like, hey, take this for what it's worth. They're comedy poison. There's a reason why they've never done shows.
You gotta vet it, I guess.
But it just comes down to like, what do you want to listen to? What do you want to be? What is your end goal? Like my end goal, all it was open for Joe DeRosa, who is still one of my comedy heroes, and go on tour one time, maybe record a record.
And you've done that.
That was it. And I've recorded a couple records. I've gone on tour more than once. I've opened for Joe DeRosa, among like several other comics that have big credits. I've opened for one of my favorite bands a couple times. I'm going to open for bands in the future because they said, hey, if we're in town, you want to fucking open for us? Or if you're going to be in this town, do you want to open for us? Okay. It's a weird life.
Yeah.
But it's a cool thing.
Yeah, for sure, dude. It's awesome.
Like I can honestly say within my first year, I got everything I wanted out of comedy.
Yeah.
And now it's
all just gravy.
And now, part of it's gravy, part of it's a challenge. Like, how far do I want to push myself?
Yeah, I'm at a point now where I really just want to do this, and it's hard. Because like the more you fall in love with like doing something like this, the more you like are checked out of your day job. I don't want to talk too much about that, but yeah, it's
don't be checked out.
I'm not checked out, but it's like I have a hard time getting excited about it because like I'm so much more excited about comedy. And it's a lot of work. Like you were saying, you had to step away from radio a little bit because you were pulled in too many directions.
Yeah,
and you had 2 other passions outside of it.
Yeah,
but I'm feeling spread thin right now, and
I do have advice for honest advice for anyone who is like feeling spread thin.
Yeah,
this is honest advice. First and foremost,
I'm listening big time.
Take care of your body. It's legit. Drink water, but like drink water, take vitamins, eat well. First thing that will eliminate a lot of the bullshit.
I'm doing none of those things.
That's why I ask if you're doing okay a lot of the time, David.
Yeah, and I appreciate you asking. Adam checks in on me. Really appreciate that.
That's first thing. Like, take care of your body. It's important. Take care of your mind. Secondly, whether it's like a psychiatrist, psychologist, talking to your friends, going on walks, fucking taking acid, whatever it is for you, just take care of your mind.
Yeah.
That's the second thing. Third thing, learn how to compartmentalize but not minimize. So you have to wear a lot of hats in this world. So learn when to put each hat on and when to take the other hat off.
That's great advice.
Don't wear too many, because then you look like an asshole with too many hats on.
Yeah.
And then finally, like when you got to learn how to say no. Learn how to say no and stick to it, but also learn when it's time to push back against someone who's being unreasonable in one aspect or another. Mm-hmm. You can say no to things or say yes to things, but there's always going to be those people that are around that will try to guilt you
or take advantage of your kindness
or naivety, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You really got to stick up for yourself, and you're going to come off like a dick sometimes. Who cares? Come off like a dick.
Yeah.
If the worst you ever hear about yourself is, well, they yelled at this person one time. Well, anything else they've done bad? Well, no. Well, you sound like a fucking asshole trying to pick one thing out.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think because I'm always very agreeable, and like I need to set boundaries. You know, I've learned that with my new job. It's like I'll say yes to everything, like everything that comes across. Any request, and I've had to learn to say no to shit, which I hate doing because I don't want to let anybody down or anything like that. But you run yourself down by doing that, by never saying no, and you're not even your real you're not even your real self because you're agreeing to things you don't even want to do.
Yeah.
So,
and like in all seriousness, like there's gonna be points where you're gonna be confused. It's okay to be confused.
Yeah.
Don't get in your head like you fucked up. Mm-hmm. Accept that you're going to be confused. Accept that you're going to fail. For the love of fuck's sake, be like, okay, I failed. Well, pick yourself back up and try again.
Yep.
Accept that you're going to fail.
Fail on purpose. I think failing on purpose.
No, don't fail on purpose. Like, I mean, unless you really want to. If you want to tank some shit, tank some shit. Like, I've tanked job interviews. I've done some bits about that.
Yeah.
Like, purposely tanking job interviews. That's just fun when I know I'm not going to get the job and they have no interest in me.
But take a risk. Take a bigger risk, maybe.
Yeah. Fail. Mm-hmm. Who gives a shit? If you fail, fine. People are going to judge you. Fine.
Yeah, in a modern society, there's very few things you'll fail at and die.
Like, people are going to judge you whether you fail or succeed. So just fail. Who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm.
I failed.
And they're not going to spend that much time thinking about you. That was advice my dad gave me. He's like, you wouldn't worry about what people think of you if you knew how seldom they did.
Yeah.
People don't spend a lot of time. People think about their own lives and problems way more than they think about you. So,
and if they are focusing on you, it means their lives are very
cringe,
small. God damn it.
Fuck it.
Cringe AF. I don't know, man.
Be cringe.
Lean into shit. Be kind to people so you don't have to be.
Yeah.
And if you realize you're being taken advantage of and you're being a sucker, tell that person to suck you from the back. And use that exact phrase. Because they will not like it, and they will learn that they're.
Yeah, it's hard to suck somebody from the back.
I mean, not if you understand physics and how penises work, but
it'd have to be, big penis.
You just can't be fully hard. There's your sizzle reel right there.
Adam Schulte has a.
I'm an andropause.
He's well endowed.
I'm an andropause. I'm
That's the
43.
takeaway from today.
Yeah.
Schulte has a giant cock.
Yeah. I don't know if this is where we ended or not. That's the note we ended on.
What time's your appointment?
I actually got like an hour and 20 before I got to get there. We can do a few more things. I don't know.
I don't like to go too long anymore. Like, so, we can cover a couple more things.
All right. What you said current events. All right.
Let's talk about Kanye. What are your thoughts about Kanye West going on Alex Jones and saying he admires aspects of Adolf Hitler?
Not a fan. I got a lot of Kanye Hitler memes that I've been exposing to people. Like, here's the thing, man. Like, as a level-headed, we're not going to take my my cultural or religious background into consideration. As a level-headed human being, this goes into a greater conversation as well. But if you're going to say, oh, it's his mental health, but no, there comes a point where like, fuck this motherfucker. He's purposefully doing this. He genuinely feels this way. And his handlers, whether they were there or not, you're allowing someone to go on another Wingnuts channel who said Sandy Hook was fake.
Yeah.
It's
crazy when even Alex Jones gets nervous about what you're saying. I think then you have to like look yourself in the mirror. Alex Jones was like, "Wait, what? You actually like it?" I don't like.
I thought those kids were those fake kids didn't die.
He like tried to give Kanye an out. I think he was like, "You don't like Hitler, right?" And he's like, "No, I'm saying I like all." He's like, "What are you doing?
Like Adidas,
what are you doing?"
Like Adidas dropping him was like the closest the Jews are ever going to get to an "I'm sorry" day from Germany. Yeah. And that's I do a bit where I explain the whole thing. It's a lot of fun. But it's Kanye West like needs to no longer be part of the cultural zeitgeist. Like when he first started doing his more outspoken stuff, when he said George W. Bush doesn't care about black people. Guess what? That was poignant because that was probably more than likely true. There's a strong chance that was like.
I still remember that clip.
Oh yeah,
him and Mike Myers.
Mike Myers.
And Mike Myers was like,
"What?" That might have.
He was like, "Yes, wait, what?"
That might have been a chance for a cultural shift for change. That could have been a good thing when he said that. That might have put the light on some things that were going on, and it very well might have. Then the Taylor Swift thing. Like, I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah,
that was just like he wanted someone else to get some acknowledgement for something that was Beyonce, right?
I think so. Beyonce had the greatest music video of all time.
I thought it was a record, but anyways, that was
album. Yeah,
that's putting the shine on someone who realistically didn't need it, but in his mind, he did. But as it's gone on and on and on, we're not talking about. You can only excuse mental illness for so long before you realize this person's an asshole.
This person is a gay fish,
and this person's an asshole, and they've gone unchecked for so long, and you can't use mental health. As an excuse
anymore, yeah.
What's the cutoff? Does he have to kill someone before like, oh, now we need to step in?
We're not going to kill anybody. We're not talking about killing.
Kanye might. You never know. We don't know.
Oh, he's going to kill somebody, or you're talking about killing Kanye? No, you're not.
I mean, if he
said no.
If he said I'm going to go DEFCON 5 on the Jews to my face, I'm not saying that I wouldn't. I'm not saying I wouldn't.
Yeah.
The Jews haven't had the best history with history. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah, it kind of seems like Kanye deliberately goes the other way anytime.
I mean, he was a mediocre producer to begin with and not a good artist.
You don't think he's a good artist? You don't like any of his music?
No, I never have.
I like some of his songs. I like vibe to him. I'm not saying I don't know. I just like in the car.
There was better,
or like back when growing up.
There was better
Kanye
shit
had some bangers.
There's better shit that came out of that era in Chicago.
I don't know all the underground shit though.
It's a Young Chop on the beats. Love Sosa.
Okay.
Love Sosa.
Love Sosa.
Drill. All right. What else do you want to talk about?
Okay.
So happy that I got to do that in my bit.
Yeah.
Talking about drill music. Date myself real quick.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Do you got any movies that you like?
I just watched Bullet Train.
Bullet Train. Yeah. I started that movie. How was it?
I love anything in those kind of, like I love Snatch, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
I love Snatch.
But anything that Guy Ritchie does in that vein, even some of his weirder stuff like Revolver.
Was it directed by Guy Ritchie?
I don't think so, but I love like that style of movie.
Yeah.
Anything that involves like multiple plot twists, different. One person's out to get another person, another person out to get that person.
So the plot of Bullet Train, Brad Pitt is a like assassin kind of former assassin.
He's just trying to do like a. He's down on his luck. He feels like he has bad luck, and all he's just doing a snatch and grab job. That's all he's trying to do.
That's the whole movie. Yeah, because I watched the beginning of the movie, and Brad Pitt's like on the phone with somebody, and he's talking like about his personal life, his diet, like how he's trying to. It was like the human side of like a serial. It's like The Sopranos, kind of like a different side of like, the hitman mob type guy.
It's based off
and how he's chill. It's kind of it's a funny movie.
Yeah,
right?
It's very
I was
funny.
laughing in the first part of it.
It's based off this other movie called Grasshopper. Which I now actually want to watch. So,
takes place in Tokyo, right? They get on the train.
Tokyo, or I don't want to say. I want to say it starts in the Shibuya district.
Okay, whatever.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I play a lot of video games that take place in Japan. So I'm trying to make sure I do say it right. But anyways,
Yeah.
But Bullet Train was cool. I watch a lot of documentaries.
Yeah.
I've been watching Epically Latered on Vice on YouTube. I watch a lot of skate videos.
Have you seen the Dark Side of Comedy documentaries that Vice does?
I
I watched
haven't
the Chris Farley one.
I haven't watched them
Epic.
yet. I haven't finished Epically Latered. Those are on my list to
I
watch.
saw one with Artie Lang. Are you aware of what happened to Artie Lang?
I know that he has a major drug problem that he can't seem to shake.
Yeah, he's still messed up.
His nose doesn't look great.
Right. He like accidentally snorted glass and it totally messed up his face. And he was spotted at like a gas station or something, like somebody's cell phone video, and he's unrecognizable. I didn't realize his life had continued down that bad path. I kind of thought he got his shit figured out like as he was on Stern. But that documentary showed that he like relapsed bad after Stern, and yeah, really sad. I like to think of these stories where comedians figure it out in their later years and then end up being okay. But
It's like same with Giraldo. We lost Greg Giraldo through his drug problems, which sucks. He's one of my still is, but my favorite comics. Very smart, very poignant, very quick.
yeah, there's a new documentary on Netflix right now called Senior. I don't know if you've heard of
SR?
it. SR.
Okay, I didn't. I see it in my recently added, but I haven't watched it.
It's
yet.
Robert Downey Jr.'s father, and he's making a documentary about his dad.
Okay.
Who, I don't know if do you know about Robert Downey Jr.'s dad?
Yeah.
He was a movie director.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you probably I didn't know a lot about this, but really good. It was cool to see a guy. His dad is like pushing 80, and he was still getting excited because the part of it was he was making his own movie. In the movie or in the documentary, to see a guy that creatively stimulated at his age still making shit, I was like, dude, that's so cool. It's
just like Clint
the shine
Eastwood.
doesn't wear off when you're old. He still wanted to make stuff.
It's like Clint Eastwood's very much the same in that aspect.
Like you make art like till you die, and I thought it was really cool. And the other thing that I didn't realize was Robert Downey Jr.'s dad directed Putney Swope, which I haven't seen that movie, but it's this really alt underground movie that's I think hilarious. And Louis C.K. was like one of my favorite comedians, was inspired by Putney Swope when he got it at a DVD store in New York and watched it because it was the most nonsensical, creative movie he had ever seen. And Louis talked about it, how he was like, once he saw Putney Swope, he was like, there's no rules to art. Like, you don't have to follow this mold of how to make something. You can make something. You can just make a movie.
Yeah, no.
And then fucking Louis did Pootie Tang, which was absurd, you know. And it could be bad, but it's still a movie. You know what I mean?
Tibata.
Yeah, you don't have to like make it all mainstream cookie cutter. You could do whatever the hell you want, and that's like where really good, cool shit gets. You know.
I recently rewatched Equilibrium, which
Never seen it.
Probably one of the best Christian Bale movies ever made.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say best Christian movies ever made. Like,
Come on, man.
came out and focus on the family. It's like,
Come on, man.
a Hallmark.
No, it's if you get a chance. I think it's still on HBO unless they've pulled it finally. But it's
How old is it?
Sci-fi movie. It came out around the same time as the second Matrix.
Okay.
Maybe the first one. I don't. It's old.
What is the plot of the movie?
Dystopia, and like having art is a crime.
Ah,
And there's the new martial art called Gun Fu.
Gun Fu.
Yep,
That sounds like
martial art with guns.
came around the second time of the Matrix or the second Matrix movie.
Yeah, it was.
That must have been embedded in the culture at that point.
And it made no money. And we were bored. I was in college at West Virginia University, and my friend Clayton, who I'm still friends with to this day, he's like, "You want to go to Pittsburgh and watch this weird movie?" I'm like, "I'm always down for going to Pittsburgh. I'm definitely down
Good
for
rec.
watching a movie."
Equilibrium. I'm gonna watch that.
And he's like, "You like Christian Bale?" I'm like, "I fucking love American Psycho."
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, let's go see this." Like, what is it called? It's called Equilibrium. I'm like, "All right." And emotions are also like regulated. That's the other big part of this thing. That movie. And we went and watched it, and I was like, my mind was blown.
Yeah.
So it had a pretty big impact on me.
That's cool, man. That's what's also cool. So the Netflix documentary Senior I was mentioning, the cool thing that Robert Downey Jr. wanted to do was like kind of expose more people to his dad's shit because it was underground, like not mainstream at all. Like Putney Swope got some recognition, and he started to get some recognition back then, but not mainstream at all. So he was like showing a light on like cool art, and I thought that was cool for that to be on Netflix and like a high viewed thing. Pretty cool deal.
Oh, and
because friends of mine have watched it who are not into underground art, and they're like, "Dude, this is cool." That's what I'm talking about. Like things of quality still have a way of getting out. Hopefully,
I got two other things that I've watched that I've recently rewatched a bunch of, and one that I watched that actually kind of really upset me in a good way. Finally watched Clerks 3.
Clerks 3 was it good?
It's heartbreaking.
Shit.
It was a rough watch. It was very good, but it was a rough watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give away the plot. It's still very funny, but there's things in it that will, if you've been following the View Askew universe, like you might cry. I got to a point where I was like, I don't know if I can finish watching this.
Clerks 3 is a tearjerker?
Yep.
Holy shit. I have to watch that too.
Killing Music, Dead Guy documentary. Growing up in hardcore, especially in the mid to late 90s, when I started, a band called Dead Guy, they're on Victory Records, I got to see their inception and how they ended and how they wrote an amazing record that no one until years later really gave a shit about. It's called Fixation on a Coworker. And how Tim Singer, the vocalist, was one of the first people that really played around with early versions of Photoshop and like those kind of like programs to create the art for the record and the art for the shirts. And it's really mind blowing how he did it. And you got to see the evolution of the band, how things changed, and then they got back together last year for maybe it was this year. They finally played that record for the first time, and now they're old men. But it was cool hearing them play the record that they never played because they broke up essentially before their milestone record came out.
Yeah, that's awesome. And this is a good segue. You still do your record show?
No, I'm gonna have to pivot. I'm bringing it back next year. Hugs and Hardcore.
Hugs and Hardcore. That's the name of it. If you're
stung.
interested in that, when you do bring it back, check it out for Adam because you go deep on that shit.
I've made the group. I'm going to make it either private or keep it private and open it back up. But I have been stung so many times by RIAA violations. Like
what are those? Record copyright shit.
Copyright infringement.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I've had I cannot mention the labels or the bands, but I've had them submit stuff for me saying he's not stealing from us.
Yeah.
And Facebook still doesn't care. I'm sorry, social media entity still does not care.
Fucking Zuckerberg.
And like, they're like, all he's doing is promoting. That's all he's promoting. And like, I have receipts from where I've already paid for this shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we think he's stealing. I don't give a fuck what you think. If you think me playing this record on my speakers is the best way to get music, then you're dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
But when bands and labels are saying he's promoting it for us, here's his permission.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell them.
Right.
Like the people that are giving me the violations, and the bands and the labels are are backing me. It's just like. That's why I've had to quit it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it, and that's why I've not gone back to it. It's been very frustrating, but
you might go back to it though.
I might do something different.
Okay.
Actually, I might do something.
Wonder if YouTube would be more chill about it.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Sometimes YouTube, like you could put I don't know, like
this format.
I've had some old videos that before got flagged on YouTube because I did this video project in high school. My dad sent it to me yesterday. I put it on the YouTube channel. I actually uploaded it to my thing. Just to have it. And I don't know, people might have watched me like, what the hell is this? But it's a video I made in high school, and it has Pink Floyd in the background, Us and Them. And the first time I uploaded it when I was in high school, because I just put stuff on there.
Nobody cared
YouTube
back then.
YouTube took
Really?
They stripped the thing off. Now they just credit the song in the comments, and then they let you, because then they can monetize it however they want to, I guess. But
not everything's
I think
trying
it has
to be
like
monetized.
4 views on the thing so far. People were like, what the hell is this?
And here's the thing, I'm not even trying to monetize anything I do out of that. That's the thing.
I'm not trying to.
No,
either.
but like that was what bothered me the most. Is like I'm not trying to monetize.
But
this
maybe the
shit.
band can get paid for it if it's on a separate video. I don't know, on YouTube.
They don't, when they say, "Hey, he's doing promotion for us," that's their monetization. It's like people might get someone to buy the record, or
Right,
Go
for
see
sure.
him play live,
For sure.
But they don't want to see that side of things. I don't know.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to wrap up with, so I can go have a cigarette? And then
Yeah.
go to my
You
appointment?
fiending?
Yeah,
I've been hitting
I
my
know.
nicotine apparatus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna smoke in your apartment because that's just rude.
Yes. We can't smoke in here. But yeah, man.
Any final questions you got? Any burning questions?
No burning questions. Asked about Greenville comedy.
Yeah.
Anything specifically? Well, we could do just the shout outs. Anything you want to radio? We talked about some of them. Radio Room coming back.
Yep. Radio Room's
January
coming
to
back.
Wednesday.
I don't know when this is coming out per se, but I will give some quick shout outs, whether it's happened or not. Our annual Toys for Tots show at the Flat is coming up on the 17th of December. We've been lucky to be doing shows there for 8 years. So I'm happy to have that show back, whether this comes out before or after.
We'll have to see.
If you miss it beforehand, if this comes out after and you missed it, it's okay. Come to the next one, or just donate locally. What else? I'll be at Brad Deaton's show on the 30th with Travis Thubband and myself at the Palmetto Distillery in Anderson.
That's an awesome show.
I don't know how to get there. I am terrified to be on the road at that point. Not so much because it's Anderson or whatever, but it's the time of the month and the time of the year, because it's right before New Year's and everyone's drinking and driving, and I'm not a fan of that. But I think it's gonna be a really fun time doing that. What else? I know I had other stuff to shout out.
That's cool.
I usually do.
Anything else we can, just hit me up. We can do it in the intro. But
no, give me a second. Shout out to all the record labels that make me continuously spend money on stuff that I really enjoy. Shout out to all the bands that keep me interested and feeling young for putting out aggressive music. On the 18th of December, I will be in Winston-Salem area for the first time in probably the better part of 15 years. A bunch of North Carolina hardcore bands are going to be playing a benefit show for a friend of mine that died earlier in the year. It's going to be for my friend John Rivera, who used to run Headfirst Records and Punks on Paper, which is like a North Carolina online zine. You can just Google that, and you can find all the show flyers that he put together in an archive to show kind of the history of underground North Carolina music, and that's still available. I don't think it's been updated since he passed, but my best friend and I are going to get to see Prayer for Cleansing, who we haven't seen in like close to 20 years, Undying, who we haven't seen for close to 20 years. Code 7 is going to play Division of Labor EP for the first time in years. We saw them last year at Farmers Fest, but it was their more recent stuff. And we're going to see Catharsis for the first time. We're going to see Azazel play their full EP. Riot Stairs is going to be there. Who else? I know I'm forgetting the other bands, but those the first few bands are bands I got to grow up seeing when I moved to North Carolina, and those dudes were always cool.
that'll be cool, man.
I plan on blowing my vocal cords out. And I'm stretching, and I'm going to be stage diving and head walking.
Hell yeah.
And it's going to be bittersweet, but I get to see a lot of my friends that I haven't seen in like 10, 15, 20 years, and it's for a good cause. So
I love it. I love it. Well, dude, yeah, it's awesome to have had you on again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no worries. I want to say, like, we've done this show like a long time.
Yeah.
I was looking back the other day because Spotify sends you everybody put their raps out there, but they do it for like podcasts too, and they sent me just like all the episodes we've done, and like it's just you were on it early and been on a few times, and it's just cool. I appreciate it. It's been great, like hanging out and
I'll come
you
back
supporting
as
the young comics.
many times as you will have me.
Well, it's just cool. Like time passes, you do comedy more, and you appreciate the people that are like still around and still doing it, and like it's just freaking cool. I don't want to get all sentimental, but like
No, be something. You start a project, you stuck with it. Not everybody does that anymore.
Mm-hmm. But it's not. Yeah, it's like it only happens if people are like willing to do it, and like people who like are actively doing comedy and doing the local stuff. So it's been fun to do, and it's cool to go back and watch old ones, because you go back and watch old clips from like a year ago. It's like how different, and how much people have like grown and things have changed. So, yeah, it's freaking cool. I get nostalgic and all weird, but yeah. So, appreciate you coming on, bro.
No problem. I want to know what this is going to be like 5 years from now.
That's yeah. I'm interested in that because things that have like little improvement that people do all the time, like comedy is that, you know. But that's why I want to keep doing it as long as possible, and you know, as long as people will talk to me, I'll do it. So it's freaking cool.
I think people will talk to you for a long time because one, it strokes our egos, and two, it's just a lot of fun.
Ego stroking for sure.
Ego
for
stroking.
Sure.
I don't know. As usual, I enjoy being on this podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming out digitally. This has been David Bakker. My name is Adam Schulte. Thank you so much. Take care of each other. Be kind. Good night.
See you guys.